Repeat your transmission. But we're the hosts of the Lost All Caps podcast. If you're the host of the Lost All Caps podcast, and I'm the host of the Lost All Caps podcast, then who's flying the plane? It's not, it's crashing. No one's flying the plane. Welcome, everybody. Oh, I'm so excited today, guys.
We're so excited.
Oh, I love this episode.
So happy to be here today. Oh, it's great. It's great.
So good.
It's great. It's great. It's
so
great.
good. I'm Ariel.
And I'm Velvet. And this is The Other 48 Days.
Oh, possibly I'm going to say it's the second best episode of the whole show.
I reckon I'd agree with that.
I'm gonna throw it out there.
I think if you're a long-term Lost fan, you probably know what
we
number
think
one
the best
is.
one is. But I think this is up there in terms of best episodes of the show. It's just so interesting because it's so different to what anything we've had before.
It's
and I
so
think
different.
It's structured really well. I think it's really interesting to get the insight into all of these characters. Like, the dynamic is super cool, but also just like tonally, it's so exciting. Because it's just like new.
It's completely new. It's like the structure of the episode that we've come to be familiar with is completely thrown out the window.
Absolutely. No flashbacks, really.
No flashbacks. Although in a sense, I guess the whole thing is a flashback.
The whole thing is a flashback in a way. Because it ends, the last time it says the day, it says today.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? I liked that.
Which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So, okay. So how are we going to do this? Are we going to go in order?
I think let's go chronologically.
Usually what we do is go by sort of plot line, and we'll discuss like on island and then like flashbacks and then B-plots.
C-plot. There's only really one plot line in this episode.
Yeah, I think...
And it slaps.
It's a doozy. So I think we could just start from day one, right?
Yeah. Oh, so the opening shot. Something that is going to become quickly apparent is almost every scene in this episode is a scenes that are so important to Ariel.
Really, truly.
There are just so many scenes that are really beautiful and really exciting and really cool and that really resonate with me and I love. And the opening is one of those. Just the quiet scene of the beach. You're like, what's happening? You really don't know. You have to reassess everything that you know. And it's just like, for a good, 10 seconds? Something like that?
It's just the water. I think that's so brilliant. I think
So
that it's
brilliant.
like, it's just...
There's no previously on Lost.
First of all, there's no previously on,
Yeah.
which I think is great, because it's like the first episode all over again.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't need previously on because this is its own plotline. You don't need to know anything from the beginning of this. And I think that's great.
Imagine if you hadn't seen the show at all and then you just watched this episode.
And what a way to start, to be fair.
Yeah.
But I really like that there's like little bits of like shrapnel that fall first.
Yeah.
Before you get the like big CGI tail coming down.
A noise as well, like a sort of humming kind of quiet, and then it goes into loud noise of the wreckage kind of happening. And as much as I will shit on the CGI in this show, because overall it is bad, I quite like this one. The suitcase that falls and then goes into the camera.
Then
it's black, and then it's like, day one. Oh, they ate. They served.
That's good. It is good. I mean, it's a CGI plane. Obviously, it's not going to look like a real plane. It was 2005. But it's, as it goes. It's pretty good.
Especially for this show. They have some shocking CGI in this show.
They have some bad CGI. And this is not one of them.
This is not one of those times.
So then we have a very different crash scenario.
Yeah.
To the one
Crashing
we
in
started
the water.
with. Because it's a lot... Something I noticed is that it's like, instead of having that like... so in the first crash montage, there's the kind of ringing, and then it's like he's alone on the beach, and then you hear the screaming, and then you see everyone. But it's like with this one, it's like kind of straight into the action, which I think is really good in like the contrasting tones of the, the two plot lines.
And then the tail section.
The experiences of the different crashes, that it's like very straight into the action for the tailies.
Yeah. And obviously because they crashed in the water, it means a lot more people died.
Yeah.
I
can't swim.
And you wouldn't be able to swim if you were panicking.
Yeah.
A second ago you were in the air.
People with seatbelts on, I mean, like...
Yeah. I mean, we saw those skeletons, didn't we? And under the water. Like, obviously, they weren't able to undo their seatbelts in time and everything like that. Yeah. Oh, it's just so intense and so dark. Like,
So
this
dark.
opening sequence is so dark. You have Ana Lucia as the first person we see, even though you can't really tell it's her at first. And I think the audio is done really, really well in that you can't really hear it. And then when her head kind of tilts above the water, you get all the screaming and the everything, and then it goes back down and it's muffled again. Really, really like that. And then she kind of manages to get herself to shore, right? Then we get Echo. We see Echo coming out, and he looks so different.
He looks completely different. He's wearing a suit.
Yeah.
He's like clean shaven. His hair is like short. He looks very put together, which is really not the like, you know, the man we know
And I
as
think-
this kind of like of the land like guy.
It's really good because when you first meet Echo, you know, when Jin thinks he's been captured by the others, I think the way that he looks really lends itself to that. Do you know
That
what
he's
I mean?
one of the others,
Like,
yeah.
really big and muscly and strong.
And wearing, like, raggedy
no
shirt and-
Yeah, raggedy shirt and like raggedy
And
trousers.
with the stick.
To see him in like a full suit.
Like totally put together and
Yeah.
like clean, and so it's crazy.
Yeah.
Whiplash.
Absolutely. And then I think we see Cindy coming out of the water as well. And then we get the kids.
Oh, my god.
This scene is so dark. Like, the way the little boy's like my sister and she's just floating face down in the water. Like,
Genuinely, when he was yelling, I straight up got chills.
Yeah.
When he was yelling for her, what's her name, Emma?
Emma, yeah.
And he was yelling for her, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely should say at the top of this episode, content warnings, because this episode is dark.
Yeah.
And
This
it's
one's kind of
intense.
heavy. There's a lot of death. There's a lot of violence.
And then, you know, Ana Lucia is doing CPR on her. Well, Echo's like, she's not breathing, so Ana Lucia does the CPR. And then the way that Echo takes the boy away,
Yeah, and he goes like,
he's
come
like,
with me.
your sister's probably dead.
She's
and
gonna.
you don't need
He's
to
like,
see
she's gonna
that."
be all right. Come with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, it turns your stomach, doesn't it? It's just
Yeah.
so horrible and heartbreaking.
Also, that he's holding the teddy bear.
He's holding the teddy bear. So this is a bit more of a confirmation from the idea that the teddy bear that we saw and the kids' feet that we saw are people that
Is
were
that
taken from the
little
tail
boy?
section. It's probably that little boy, I'd imagine. So that means, you know, Goodwin didn't lie. He is alive.
Yeah.
You know? So that's good to know. But whether he is better off now,
Not sure about that one.
we'll get there.
We'll
get
discuss
there.
that. But this, I think, is such an interesting concept of these kids. I think it really was a stroke of genius from the writers, these kids, because it's like unattended kids who are flying alone is such a common thing. Like, especially like a lot, like our dad used to do that all the time. You know, his parents were divorced and he would just fly.
It was the 80s.
It was
so
the
I think
80s.
The rules were a little bit
So it was a
more-
bit different, but like him and his 3 siblings would just fly by themselves without, and I do think it happens quite a lot. You just like one parent drops the kid off, or like the family member, whoever, drops them off at the airport, the other one's waiting for them on the other end.
Yeah.
I think also crucially that Cindy is then, the Echo then brings him to Cindy and says, can you watch the children while I get the bodies out of the water? And Cindy is a flight attendant. And that's like, the flight attendants are in charge of looking after the kids until they
Yeah.
get back to their parents. That, I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, so did Echo pick her because he knew she was the flight attendant? She's like, oh, you might have spoken to the kids on the plane so they'll feel safe with you. Or was it just anyone who's around?
Anyone who seems
Not
not
in
injured
shock,
and
yeah.
okay.
Even though I think Cindy is quite reluctant to
Yeah.
start looking after the kids, you know. But it's crazy that they kind of become all of their responsibility. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like,
they
Ana
all wanna look
Lucia
after the kids.
definitely feels very protective of them. And she says later on, like, I made a promise to get that girl home to her mum. Oh,
And like, yeah, and I love that all of them feel, and every single one of them also, their first priority is the kids. When they're talking to like, you know, Nathan and Goodwin, when they're trying to figure out what's happened, it's like, where are the kids? It's the first thing they're always asking about. And I think that's just like so, it's a really good, they're really interesting as concepts, those characters. And I think they really have produced a great dynamic.
it gives all of the tail section like a united drive, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To sort of look after these children who are their responsibility, because with Walt in the main section, it's kind of only really Michael. Like, people care about Walt,
People
but
wanna-
look at what's happened. He has been kidnapped, and Michael's the only one who's like, we need to find him, we need to get him back. Do you know what I mean? And yes, they weren't able to get the kids who'd been kidnapped back.
But it is different because because Walt has a parent with him, it's like, well, he's their parent's responsibility. But the fact that these children have no parent, and it's not that they have a parent who's died in the crash, it's that their mum is waiting for them in America, that it's like, they then...
That poor woman. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
She must be absolutely devastated.
I mean, that's awful. Can you imagine?
That's every parent's worst nightmare, really, isn't it?
Yeah. I noticed as well later on when, I think it's when Echo brings the kids to Cindy, the boy is wearing Echo's jacket.
Oh, is he?
And that's why he's never wearing the blazer again.
He gives it to the
he's
boy.
given it to the little boy, and then he wears it for like, I think most of the rest of the scenes you see him in, he's wearing that like blazer, and it's like goes down to like past his knees. And I was like, oh, he's put his jacket on him.
Yeah, I mean, we get a lot of insight into Echo's character in that first day, don't we?
Yeah.
Because he's the one who, he says like, there's something I need to do. And he pulls all of the bodies out of the water. That, I think that's really, that tells us a lot about
And it
him.
seems buries them, because we see the whole lines of graves
We
later
do,
on.
when they're burying the leg man.
The broken leg guy.
So, interesting, both sets of crash survivors have had a leg guy.
a leg guy. I was going to point that out.
And it's like, we were very frustrated in the first one because he had this horrific injury, but Jack was able to fix it. And they said, oh, he's actually going to be all right.
Yeah, there
And
is a
then
scene
nothing.
later on in that episode where it's like, I've checked the tourniquet, he's going to be okay. We can assume he died in the background.
But we never get told that. And it seems, and it's like in the main section, whenever a character dies, they make a much bigger deal of it.
Especially early on, yeah. It feels really odd to me that we never get anything from him again. Because I know, like, when Jack says he's going to be all right, obviously that's like, he says later on when he's talking about the marshal, he says like, well, I thought we'd be in a hospital by now.
Yes.
So like, I think when he says that, he probably means he'll survive until rescue gets here.
So it's possible.
So
that
it's
he
like,
didn't.
it's possible that he didn't survive, but also, yeah, we never hear anything about him again. And it's like if he'd been in the crash scene and then we'd never heard anything, I'd just be like, okay, well, he died.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that we get the dialogue of like, I've checked on the guy with the tourniquet and he's going to be okay. And I'm like, but where is
And then
he?
he's never there. Even if there was just a guy in the background with like crutches made out of bamboo, I'd be like, fine.
Yeah.
Happy, I'm happy. He doesn't need to have any lines. He doesn't need to be featured in any way.
Put him in John's wheelchair.
Well, the wheelchair got set on fire, didn't it?
No, it didn't.
Oh, yeah, no, it didn't.
Because then they were using it to transport like suitcases or something later on.
Yeah, put him in the wheelchair. And then that could have been a really interesting dynamic for John to see like
Yeah.
someone else in his wheelchair.
Using his wheelchair.
Don't know how he would feel about that. That would have been really
That would've been really
interesting. Come on, you fumbled the bag, writers. Anyway, leg guy for the tail section's name is Donald.
Donald.
And we get a really kind of nasty scene, but in a way it's like a little bit funny. Like, it's kind of our only hint at comedy in this whole episode, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
When Libby is trying to fix his leg. So he's like, it's bad, isn't it? And she's like, it's not that bad.
She's like, you're gonna be okay.
Mama, the bone's coming out. The bone is... Remember the ABCs of medicine. A bone coming out through the skin is very bad. Come on, we've all seen the meme.
That is really, that shot of that leg. Ooh, whoever the prosthetics team is. Oh my god, you did such a good job, because that is so gross to look at. It, like, I recoiled seeing it. And it's like Anna Lucia, I think, makes a really good... I mean, her facial expressions generally are brilliant, but she makes a really good kind of...
I wrote down appalled.
Yeah.
I think that describes her expression quite well. When Libby goes... I wrote
She's
down
like,
appalled.
Yeah. Her mouth, like, straight up falls open. She's like...
Yeah.
What are you doing? That is really... And that's really, like... that is kind of a side of Libby we've not seen. Because we said before, like, a lot of them seem to be followers rather than the leaders, and she seems to be a bit of a kind of quiet character who's a bit more, like, timid, I think is what I was going for.
Yeah.
But, like, in this moment, it's like, this is the crisis, and she's like, helping this guy, and she seems to have quite a good bedside manner. Like, she does tell that story to distract him, you know,
Yeah.
and she can set the leg, and she can, like, look.
Apart from the fact that she, you know, he passes out from the pain. She doesn't...
But she probably knew that was going to happen, you know.
I guess they don't really have any medicine, do they?
No,
like,
everything was in the water.
Yeah, they don't really have any of their suitcases, it seems.
No, it seems like they really have nothing. And I think, like, because they're all in the same outfits.
They
were
don't change their
wearing.
clothes the whole time, which is crazy. Because you think about how much all of our main characters have changed their clothes. We see them washing their clothes quite a lot and everything, and it's like, wow, these people, not only have they been through so much traumatic shit, but they probably also stink, and like their clothes
Feel
are
kind of disgusting,
horrible and itchy
yeah.
and nasty.
And they've all, like, degraded so much.
Yeah. They haven't had the opportunity to get a little washing station going.
Yeah.
When are they showering? When are they shitting? I mean, we get some shitting tea,
we'll get to
don't
that.
we get some shitting tea. We're keeping track. We're being very diligent and methodical in terms of the numbers. Not the... You're talking about the numbers. Some of the numbers, but the general...
Numbers in general in this episode are very common.
So we're on day one still, I think.
Yes.
And we find out from Libby in the previous episode that 23 survived.
Yes.
Cool. Keeping track so far?
Keeping track of the numbers. Libby says she did a year of medical school.
Yes. So she's a clinical psychologist. She did a year of med school until she dropped out. Now, that does not give me a lot of faith in her as a doctor.
No.
Because she
dropped
out. So
and obviously we don't know why, but, like, presumably she
didn't like
you know.
it, wasn't very good at it, didn't pay that much attention in class.
Maybe she failed. I mean,
It's looking bad for them.
it's not great for Donald, is
Yeah.
it? But at least she knows something.
I was going to say maybe she spent a whole time partying, but I've heard that that's what med students do anyway.
Med students are crazy.
Yeah. They were at Cambridge. They were a different breed at Cambridge. It was like there was an ongoing thing that a lot of them would say, that after they did a dissection, they would all be really hungry.
This is, like, a common thing.
Is it?
After surgeries and, like, dissections and everything, you get hungry and you have to go eat afterwards.
It's creepy.
It's really horrifying, isn't it? Because it's like, it sort of makes sense, but it's also sort of horrible.
Apparently it's some chemical that they use in like autopsies or dissections or whatever that it makes the smell of it makes you hungry or something.
Yeah, probably some kind of, like, thing to, like, preserve.
I guess. Salt.
I mean, I love salt, but yeah.
Yummy. Anyway.
Med students are crazy. So partying all the time would not mean you dropped out of med school.
No.
So we have that scene with the leg, which immediately transitions into Bernard in the tree.
So we've already arrived, we were 10 minutes into the episode? We've arrived at another scene that's so important to me. I love Bernard's introduction scene.
This is crazy. This is crazy because
God.
we've seen all the characters we know, right? We've seen, like, all the survivors, but also we've had the kids mentioned a couple of times, and we've seen them now, and we've had, like, a couple of mentions of, like, all the people we've kind of heard about, we've seen, apart from Bernard and Goodwin. And I'm not expecting you to recognise Goodwin from the one time we saw his corpse.
No.
But
when he says his name, you're like, oh.
when he says his name, you go, oh,
We know what
happens
happens
to
to
this guy.
him. But Bernard's entrance is just so fucking good. Like, the script is amazing. The setup is just so brilliant. It's, like, terrifying, right? To be
So scary.
in this seat, in the tree, still buckled in.
Still buckled in, next to a dead guy.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And Anna, you know, she's like, listen to me. He's like, I don't think I could do that. Bernard, you're gonna do it, okay? And she, like, asks his name and everything. And I'm like, she's such a good leader.
She's clearly good in a crisis. Like,
Yeah.
clearly she knows what to do in this kind of situation.
Again, we still don't know what she
still
did.
don't know. She dodged the question. Libby, because she says, are you a doctor? And Libby says, you're in medical school. And then she's like, oh, I saw you doing CPR earlier. Are you a doctor? And she just goes, no. So she does, we don't know what Anna Lucia did. We know nothing about Anna Lucia or Echo's past.
Which is really interesting. I mean, we don't know much about
the
Bernard's
leaders.
past either, other than he's Rose's husband.
Yeah, I mean, really, we don't know anything about Rose. But I guess because we know that he's Rose's husband, we sort of know about his life a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean, that's really interesting because it's like all that matters is what's going down on the island, really. It's not like the rest of them where, you know, they're moping about their past lives. It's like, girl, get it together.
Come on. No flashback episodes over here.
But what I was going to say is you're like saying she's very good in a crisis and she's very, you know, tough. And she also recognises the US Army knife. And she goes, this is about 20 years old, you know?
Yeah.
So I think she may have had military training.
Yeah.
It seems to me at this point. So just keep that in your heads, guys.
Yeah, Banana in the Tree is a crazy cool scene.
Oh, so good. So
and
fucking
the
good.
way also, I have something to discuss.
Okay.
So Anna is great in that scene, in keeping Bernard alive. But Goodwin keeps saying, like, we need to climb up there and get him. Do you think he's saying that because he knows Bernard is going to fall? Or do you think he's actually trying to save him?
I reckon he is actually trying to save him because at this point, so he says, so we're jumping ahead, but obviously Goodwin's the evil.
Well, you know that. You've watched the episode. Goodwin's the bad guy.
Goodwin's the bad guy. He's the spy. He says, Nathan was not a good man. That's why he wasn't on the list. So it seems like he has been instructed, or his mission infiltrating the group was to find, quote unquote, good people.
The good ones.
Write their names down on a list, and then those people would get kidnapped. So I think he doesn't know anything about Bernard yet, so he might want to save him.
Yeah.
In case he's a
I
good
think so.
person.
I do think he's trying, because also it doesn't seem like they want the rest of them dead.
No, not necessarily.
Because it's like, if they only wanted to take the good ones, and they didn't care about and they wanted to kill the rest of them, they would have, it seems they would have just killed them. You know, we see what Ethan did to Scott, and it's like, okay, so if they could just do that,
yeah,
then like...
Because at that point as well, the plan has gone wrong, so he's like, right, time to kill, basically.
Yeah. Seems like that's the second, that's plan B.
That's plan B.
Plan A is to, I think, it seems like what it is, it's like, we'll take the ones we want to keep alive, and then the rest of them can just like do what they want.
But it's interesting that, like, Ethan only tried to kidnap Claire, and he basically left Charlie for dead, didn't he? So it's like, is Claire
the only
her
good
baby the only good one out of all of the
But we don't know. I mean, we don't know what these criteria are. Also, like, I would say it's possible, like I think we mentioned it, maybe floated it briefly last episode, that like it could be that it's a smaller group that are like weaker and less put together, so it's like they'll focus on taking on people from the tail section they want first, and they'll tackle the larger group later on.
Clearly it's either that they crashed closer to the territory or something like that, or what you just said, because it's like there's way more people there,
yeah,
and there's way more kidnappings and stuff.
There's no way that out of 23 survivors, 11 of them were good people, but out of, what was it, 48? Only one?
Yeah, it
feels wrong.
It feels weird. It almost seems like they're not working together, doesn't it?
Yeah, they're not. Maybe there's multiple groups.
I mean,
we don't know that.
There could be.
We don't know that these groups of people are working together, other than this seeming common denominator of like the children.
Yeah.
But really, we don't know.
But Goodwin must be communicating with his people, right? Throughout this whole time.
Somehow.
But how? And so this is what leads me to believe that they live close by. He's just like sneaking off in the middle of the night or something. Are you Googling what the P's got? Really?
Yes. So, yeah. So the scene...
It's confusing, guys. It's confusing.
It's really confusing. We really don't figure out, and it's difficult because we have so little information about the others, because often no one lets them get more than 3 sentences out before they kill them. So it's like, we don't know what's going on, really.
Mm-hmm. But also, like, if Goodwin is there to spy on them, figure out who's good, and then those people get taken, how did he get all of that ready to go on the first night?
Maybe he's just I think the other possible solution is that he's really good at his job and Ethan isn't. And I mean, he says, doesn't he, when he's talking to Anna Lucia, I mean, we don't know that this is true, but he says, like, they tried to take Echo, they took the other three, were all, like, strong and athletic and, like, fighters. So if it's that arbitrary, his criteria, maybe it's that was a very easy kind of visual thing for him to do.
Maybe.
And he just was able to go, you know, get that one, get that one, get that one.
And Annalicia goes, they didn't take you because she's already clocked it. She's already figured out that he's the spy. But we don't know that at that point. But I'm like, they didn't take Annalicia?
Yeah.
She's clearly, like, the toughest of them all.
What I'm getting from this is Goodwin is a misogynist.
Yeah.
We'll discuss that.
The others hate women.
The writers hate women. Yeah, so Goodwin's cover story is that he's in the Peace Corps.
Yes. Now, what is the Peace Corps, I hear you ask? I have no idea.
I've Googled it. As far as I can tell, it's a sort of volunteer army.
Like the Salvation Army?
Yeah. It's American. And it's like a sort of volunteer... Oh my god.
The tap is dripping.
There are 3 goals. Number 1, to help the countries interested in meeting their need for trained people.
What?
It says, like, exchanging skills and knowledge with community members.
Okay.
Number 2, to help promote a better understanding of Americans on the part of the people served.
What?
And number 3, to help promote a better understanding of other people on the part of Americans.
I don't understand what any of that means. None of those sentences
It's
were
all
real sentences.
really vague. Right, what does the Peace Corps actually do? Thank you. No, don't know. I don't want to hear about trained men and women. An independent agency and program of the United States government that trains and deploys volunteers to communities in partner countries across the world.
Okay, so they're kind of like, you know, helping people, but they're deployed by the government.
So I think actually Goodwin's explanation of, like, the adult version of Boy Scouts seems to be pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I feel like it is just kind of grown up scouts.
Yeah, actually. But also, like, it's really funny when you know that he is one of the others, because it's like, actually without him, they may have died sooner. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's actually quite useful and helpful.
He's actually really helpful.
Like, he kills that chicken for them and stuff.
They're playing off his survival skills as Peace Corps is quite interesting.
Yeah.
But it's like, smart. Oh, he knows all this stuff because he's learnt it for his job.
But then it's like, how does he know about the Peace Corps?
Yeah.
It's interesting because we get the idea that, you know, the others just live on the island, but we've got the US Army knife. He knows about the Peace Corps and stuff.
Yeah, and also, like, Ethan, you know, he said he was from Canada. He had, like, I'm sure he had, like, a explanation for a job. Something like, he had, like, a reason for his trip. I don't remember what it was. But, like, you know, would lead you to believe he's just a regular guy.
Yeah.
So they at least know enough about the world to concoct these, like, believable cover stories.
Yeah. And have some artifacts from the outside world as well. But a 20-year-old one.
But 20 years old. So maybe it's been a long time.
Could be Dharma related, because
Could
obviously
be, because that's, like, 70s.
70s, 80s.
Which is, I mean, it's
About
2004, so 20 years ago it would have been 1984.
All very interesting, people.
Interesting. Then we have the conversation between Bernard and Echo, which also happens that night.
I actually think Bernard's character is really good. Like, he's just... I mean, we said about Libby being a bit more of a timid character. He's, like, so frightened.
Yeah.
And, like... I was watching his first day or whatever, so being in the trees and then going and talking to Echo, and I was like, oh my god, that guy's been through it. But then it's like, they've all been through it, but the way that he delivers those lines really makes you go, oh my god, he's really been through it. And he has. Oh.
And it's like, all he wants is to find his wife, and I think he actually is our first character in this storyline that voices the kind of, like, what happened? Where is everyone else? What happened to us? which is we get a lot more of in the early days of season 1, of being like, what happened, the communications, the, you know, where are we, etc., etc. And that, like, that Rose is the one who says the tail section are alive, and that Bernard is the one who says what happened to the people in the front, I think is just fun.
He seems to have less conviction than her, though.
No, yeah.
You know, she never believed, she always believed that he was alive, but it seems like he really wants to believe that she's alive and is really holding out hope, but he kind of seems very frightened and a little bit hopeless.
And, like, I get it. Their situation is a lot more dire. I wouldn't be convinced, you know?
Yeah.
And Echo says, I'll pray for her.
Now this is great.
Now this is interesting.
Because obviously Rose is a Christian.
Yeah.
And we see her praying with Charlie at one point. So really nice to get, obviously he doesn't know that, but really nice to get him saying, I'll pray for her.
Yeah. And then Bernard says, where are the rescue planes? And he goes, I'll pray for them too.
I'll pray for them as well.
So Echo is a religious character.
Yes.
In some description.
And I've said Christian just there. I'm assuming that he's Christian based on the 40 days thing, because that's the Christian thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he walked the desert for 40 days and 40 nights. Yeah. And that's what Lent is.
Lent, yeah. So I think
from context, you can
from
sort of
context, what happens to Echo is these people try to kidnap him, and in self-defense he kills them both with a rock. I mean,
cool. Also biblical. Cain and Abel, first murder was committed with a rock.
Also very biblical, yes. But the way he's been able to just kill 2 guys, day 1, first kill on the island, right?
First kill on the island, yeah.
And then he obviously has to do like a penance for killing those people.
Does that happen before? I mean, kill is maybe a question mark, but does that happen, do you think, before the monster kills the pilot?
Ooh. Yes, because that happens on day 2, doesn't it? Because they hear the monster
because when he's got
night.
the plane, that's in the evening, and then he's like, tomorrow we're going to go find the cockpit. And she's like, I'll go with you. Yes, that was on day 2. What's interesting about the Vial of Silence is that I think it appears that we kind of see everything Echo says before that. And he's not like a withdrawn character. He's not like with John, how he didn't speak at the beginning. He's a very not talkative character, but like he's very engaged with everyone.
Absolutely.
But nobody knows his name.
Yeah.
Because like Goodwin just says, "You're quiet, friend."
Yeah.
When they're talking about them later on. And probably Goodwin knows his name because...
No, but how would he?
I mean, how would he? I don't know.
No one knows his name until like day 40.
Unless they're like in some description magical. I feel like there's a level of implication in this episode that the others have a sort of psychic thing going on.
That's interesting, because I actually disagree. I think the others seem very real and very human in this episode, because it's like they're a real human threat, and it's much more like a kind of horror film, like we are being attacked by this group of people rather than we're being attacked by some supernatural force.
But then it's like they leave no trail, and it's like they come silently in the night and they know who's a good one. Like, it's all
I mean,
a bit...
the whole whoever's good thing is interesting, but like I always just assumed they leave no trail because they know the island.
I feel like there's a little bit of an implication of like a sort of magical, also the sort of like, you know, how do they know who to take on the first night?
I mean, yes,
psychic messages.
You can get away with explaining plot holes by saying they're magical.
I mean, Walt has psychic powers. It's not far-fetched.
It's not far-fetched. It's not
explicitly canon, but it's not particularly far-fetched.
But look at the way that Goodwin behaves. He never behaves as someone who is, you know, superhuman.
He's acting. So they said, I wrote down the blonde guy, the guy with the curly hair, and the German one.
Yeah.
And the people who get taken.
A German lady. We got no German characters. I'm sad we didn't get to meet her.
I want to meet the German.
Yeah.
I think it was worth noting, to me at least, that like those 3 descriptors were like characters we don't know anything about. So like I don't think even in the crash montages you really see them. I was like, they're not, I mean obviously we've not seen much of the others, but like we've seen like on the boat like it wasn't any of them, you know?
Wait, what boat?
When they took Walt.
Are you saying the curly hair, the German lady?
The blonde guy.
They're not others.
No, I know they're not others. This is what I'm saying is they've not like, because I was like thinking they could have like taken them and then like converted them and started using them, you know?
Okay.
So it's like if they've brought them into their group and they're then going, now you're going to go on this mission to kidnap this boy.
Right.
But it's not that none of the others we've seen are blonde or have curly hair or German.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Okay, fair enough. But interesting that one of them's a woman, and we were just saying they don't take Ana Lucia even though she's clearly the strongest. Maybe that German lady was like a bodybuilder. She was like hench.
We didn't see her.
We didn't see her. In my mind, she is. She's like fully...
I think so.
Absolutely jacked.
So that's all like day 1, essentially.
Well, we're stretching into day 2 now, aren't we?
Yeah, I think it's like the last bit of day 1 is Echo holding Bloody Rock,
yes,
isn't it?
because there's actually a really nice transition. So Echo is kind of like covered in blood and he's holding this rock and he's got like, is it either blood or like spit dripping from his mouth? And I think that's really cool. Like
it's very much, really it's got like savage animal energy.
But you can see the kind of pain in his eyes, you know, like he's not happy about the fact that he's done this, you know, he feels very guilty and you can see that on his expression. And then there's a kind of like sucking noise, like a kind of and then it goes for day 2.
And then it almost picks up straight after.
Yeah.
It's almost like all that's happened in that time is we've ticked over past midnight.
Hey girls, that was all day 1.
Yeah.
Strap in. I can't believe the others came for them on day 1. Like, it is mad when you think about it. It's like, you know, okay, the main section did not even know about the others until like a good 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
Maybe a week if you count Rousseau's interaction. But these guys haven't heard about the monster at all, which is interesting.
No, they don't know anything about that.
Maybe the monster kind of
lives on that side, the others live on that side.
That would make sense if the others are trying to avoid
They want to avoid the monster territory. Dark territory is what Rousseau calls it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe then, if they didn't come... I mean, I'd have to look at the timeline, but what if it's that they took the people from the tail section, they took them on night 1, then they come again on like day 13 or something, and then if it's after that Claire gets kidnapped, my theory stands.
What theory?
That they took all the people in the tail section first, then they went to do the front section.
Yeah.
Because when they get Claire back, they say it's been nearly a month. Mm-hmm. So, and she's only missing for about a week, so yeah, that's kind of week 3.
It would be really interesting to match up the days and go, what were the main section doing at this time? Obviously we get one bit, but I have not been through. I've not been through and looked at every day.
I mean, I can sort of vaguely remember how it matches up, but not specifically. No,
but I would like to. That'd be really fun.
Would be really interesting.
Especially just to see how these guys are going through the horrors while the others are like, I don't know.
Building a golf course. There is like a full comprehensive timeline on the Lostpedia that has like everything that happens on day 1 in like front and tail, and then everything happens day 2, and it's like every flashback. There's even like a timeline of flashbacks, I think.
Yeah.
And when everything's happening in all of their like lives. So
I'm gonna spend some time.
One day I'm gonna read the whole thing.
I'm gonna spend some time with my bestie Lostpedia. We're gonna queen out.
Oh, Lostpedia. We're really in it now.
Lostpedia, my beloved. But we just talked about how the main section go and find the cockpit on day 2. Interesting that we also get Cindy telling the tail section about the fact that they have been flying in the wrong direction on day 2 as well.
Yeah.
So they kind of get that information at the same time, which is really, really interesting.
So can we talk about Cindy now?
Yes.
So, okay, so we've already said how much we love Cindy. The thing is what I really like also about this character is that there's no explicit connecting of the dots moment with Cindy. It's like, you do have to just sort of figure it out. And that's really great. She never goes like, I'm a flight attendant, you know? That was my bad Australian accent.
Sounded British. Sounded like you were doing a British accent.
Well, there you go. You know, you just sort of, you get it, you know? Yeah. And I think it's like the moment where she says like, the pilot said we'd lost communication, and then you realise she's wearing entirely blue, and then you go, oh my god.
It's not only a flight attendant, it's the
flight attendant.
Who flirted with Jack when he mentioned the FDA regulations and gave him the vodka bottle.
Cindy.
That's Cindy.
Who gave him the extra vodka bottle.
This is why we love her so much, because what a connection.
What an incredible connection
between the main character and, like, all of these new characters.
And also, like, I think it's such a brilliant like, she's such a brilliant character as well, because when you think about a plane crash, you don't think about the staff who work on the plane.
No.
You know, you think about, like, all of these people are strangers, apart from a few, and it's like, no, she knew every person who worked on that plane,
mm-hmm.
and she's the only one who survived.
She's really, really interesting from that perspective, and really good as a plot device to let the tail section know that they were flying in the wrong direction. However, I do have an issue to bring up. So, we see Cindy talking to Charlie, don't we? And she's like, you all right? And he's like, fine, having withdrawals. He runs through the main bit of the plane to go to the toilet. She's chasing him.
The toilet that is in the cockpit section, because that's why he goes with them, to go into the toilet and get his drugs back.
She is chasing him. Then he goes into the toilet in the cockpit section. Then the crash happens. So surely Cindy is in the front of the plane.
How did she get there?
Not the tail of the plane.
This is a good point, because also I think it's her, isn't it, who picks up the phone and says, like, everyone put their seatbelts on.
Yeah.
Maybe she, like, then went through the plane to make sure everyone had their seatbelts on. That's the only reasonable explanation I can think of, is that she went, everyone put their seatbelts on, and then when you guys deal with the druggie, I'm gonna go make sure everyone's put their seatbelts on. And then she just happened to be in the back when it crashed, because that was quite soon after, isn't it?
Yeah. They hit turbulence, like, almost immediately after Charlie enters the toilet.
because he hits the ceiling, doesn't he? And then he ends up coming out and buckling in a little bit after. So that's really the only reasonable explanation. But it kind of makes no sense.
There is a way to explain it away, but it just... I was like, we see her pretty close to the crash, pretty far from the tail section.
Obviously, they just went, wouldn't it be great to bring her back? And you know what? It was great to bring her back. So I'm not mad about it.
No, I'm not complaining. But I am complaining a little bit. Yeah, it's Ana Lucia who says, we don't need to keep the signal fire going. Which I think is really interesting, because she's very much leader right now. Yeah. Isn't she? Because Nathan goes to her, what about the signal fire? And she's like, she takes a minute, and she's like, oh shit, what about the signal fire? And then she goes, we don't need a signal fire. She's like, I'm making a decision for the group. We don't need it.
They have satellites. Yeah. The other thing, so just backing up a little bit, when they hear the others arrive in the middle of the night, it's Goodwin first
who grabs
a torch grabs a stick out of the fire and runs towards them.
Really interesting.
Really interesting. Because, like, he leads them right to them, but also maybe it's that they hear his voice saying this way and they go, let's run away. Because they're coming.
Woken up. Yeah, something like that, possibly. Interesting. Very, very
really interesting.
Or maybe he's trying to signal to them, I'm still undercover. Don't go, come on, Goodwin.
Maybe it's that he's so committed to making them believe him that he's like, I will,
But I think he is surprised to see that 2 of his people are dead.
Definitely. And it seems they have this kind of confidence, the others, They have this, like, I will kill you about them. They're like, obviously he was pretty shocked that they just got overpowered seemingly so easily. He's like, Echo, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Force to be reckoned with.
But a really nice scene as well when Ana Lucia's over the bodies and she's saying things like, they have no shoes, they have no labels in their clothes.
No wallets or phones or keys.
Underscored by Echo getting his stick.
Yeah.
Really love that. Really shot really well. Okay, so then we jump to day 5.
Day 4, I think, actually. Because we get the legs infected, it's getting worse.
And then day 5
what are we meant to do about that?
Yes.
And then day 5, he dies.
Apologies, I didn't write that one down. I wrote down every other number, but not 4, one of the most important numbers.
I think that scene's really great, though, because first of all, the fact that Libby goes to Ana Lucia and says, this is happening. So it's like, at this point, she's the leader.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about that? It feels a little bit blasé, but also it's very real. It's very like they have no medicine, they have no medical equipment. There is nothing they can do for him. But also, she's cutting the sleeves off her jacket in that scene.
She's unpicking the seams. So cool.
So her jacket that she's wearing in the scene with Jack,
Oh yeah, she is, isn't she?
At the airport. And I never even connected that was the same jacket, you know? She's wearing that, and then she obviously wants to keep it, but it's too hot, so she cuts the sleeves off. And I think that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Very badass. I should unpick the sleeves on this, for real. This is my... I'm in my tail section cosplay today. Leather jacket, bloodied shirt.
Impractical skirt.
Just
like Libby and Cindy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that they crashed in skirts.
But also, getting on a plane in a skirt, I feel like you're tempting fate. Because they're not comfortable to sit in for like 11 hours. Obviously, Cindy didn't have a choice.
No.
That's fair, that's her uniform.
Yeah.
But like... Don't do that, she's off.
Yeah.
This is my crash outfit as Drive Shaft superfan who's very excited to see Charlie. I've spent the entire plane journey going, is that him?
I'm so sorry to bother you. And then we hit turbulence.
I'm so sorry to bother you. Excuse me. I need to go to the toilet. So Donald is dead.
Donald dies on day 4. And he is the 4th person to die.
Yes.
We figured this out because Libby says he'll be the 4th to go. And I was like, interesting. Does she mean the 3 people that were taken plus Donald? But we crunched the numbers.
We counted the people at the funeral.
And we could spot 15, but we were like, there must be 16 actually. 15, 16. No coincidences there, I think. Because they crashed with 23. If you take away 3, that's 20. And then if you take away another 4, that's 16.
Yeah.
So I'm going to confidently say the 3 people were kidnapped, then 3 people died from their injuries.
Before Donald.
And then Donald.
And then Donald, and then it's that we counted 15 at the funeral, but also it's a crowd, so there could just be someone behind Goodwin or something. He's tall.
Yeah, exactly. Or
Nathan was in the toilet.
shitting again. Yeah.
But when they bury Donald, there were 8 graves.
Another numbers reference. And we were like, hang on a minute, wait, what does that mean? But I think we're going to say some of them are people who died in the crash.
Yes. Or alternatively, they buried the, others that Echo killed.
Oh, yeah, could be. I feel like they would, for practicality reasons, need to bury them.
I mean, it's like with the main crash, they had to burn all the bodies because it was like the boat were eating them. So also Echo seems to be doing this vow of silence as a sort of penance for killing them. So it seems like he would bury them.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like he would bury the people who died in the crash as well. So there's probably more graves that we just
probably
don't
more
see.
Graves we couldn't
but
see.
But it's a really powerful visual because not only is it 8 and 15 and all of this stuff, but it's you're thinking back to the funeral and you're thinking back to the little funeral they have for Scott as well. And it's there are so many more people stood around and so fewer graves compared to what the tail section are going through.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking about the funeral. I would like you to know that since recording that episode, me and my friends have started periodically just going, I didn't know Boone very well.
It is great. It's a fun one. It's a fun little vocal stim from the show.
I didn't know Boone
very well. And I only see it stood with the kids at the funeral as well. And it's just those poor kids, they've seen much death. They must be fucking terrified. And yet we see the little scene of them playing with each other and it's at least they have each other, I guess. But
they're having fun still.
It must be so scary.
So
scary for all of them.
So scary for all of them, really. So I remember the chicken thing so vividly.
Yeah, me too.
Really, intensely. Because where did the chicken come from?
Where did the chicken come from?
First of all, where did the chicken come from?
It's a really good question. What do you mean there are just chicken running around? But then again, we have polar bears on the island, so...
We have polar bears. Chicken is a bit less extreme than polar bear.
Least of our worries, really, that there's a chicken. But I'm like, where's that chicken come from?
Yeah. But then, I mean, we've said in the Dharma Initiative video, there was polar bears briefly, and we were like, is that how they got here? Maybe they brought a bunch of chickens.
They brought chickens as well.
I mean, if they were planning on building a community, I guess it's farming.
Yeah. But then, the chickens are still there.
but the
I
chickens
feel
have
like
survived.
polar bears live longer than chickens, no?
Yeah, but chickens, like, lay loads of eggs, don't they? So, like, they're get more babies.
I guess, but I was going to say who's, looking out for them. I guess they're just looking out for themselves.
I mean, chickens did exist in the wild.
Sisters are doing it for
beforehand.
themselves. And it's just a community of chickens. I would love to see horror movie version of Chicken Run set on the island.
Chicken Run
and
on the
it's
island.
the community of chickens on the island.
Like Chicken Run 2, how they're in, like, a gated community now, but it's the island.
It's the island. And the chickens are like, guys, where are we?
The chicken with the hat. That's Anna Lucia.
She is Ginger. She is Ginger, straight up.
Yeah. John is like the old rooster with the army medal.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure. And then who would be like the cockerel guy? I guess that's maybe Jack, because he has like flirty vibes with Ginger.
With a lot of the...
But then at the end of it, she kind of goes, "Oh, you're a fraud. Okay, bye."
Yeah. The thing about the chicken, though, is I'm also like... I know they're not thinking long term, but they could have kept the chicken and had eggs.
They need to eat.
But I guess
it's
just the fact that it's like, what have we got at this point? 16 people, did we say?
Yeah.
Sharing one chicken. It's not exactly a meal, is it?
No. My God, they're really roughing
And like
it out
we
here.
see them, we know they've been eating fruit. We know they've like, there was a couple of other moments where they were eating other things. They've escaped me now. They were getting like what are those ones?
No idea.
Like
Castanets?
clams?
Crabs? Oh, right,
some kind of shell, the shell ones.
Oh, yeah, they were. Yeah.
Off of the beach and like prizing them open.
Yeah. And we see Cindy and Libby making a fishing net later on, don't we?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, because at this point they haven't really gone into the jungle, I don't think. I mean, they do a bit because Nathan goes to take a shit and Anna Lucia goes, we have a system for that, we go in pairs.
So I think they go like just far enough to do things like get fruit. But obviously they're scared of the jungle because the jungle is where they live.
Yeah. So that's day 7. Then we jump to day 12, where we get Anna Lucia making her boomerang stick. Turns out not a boomerang. She's sharpening it. So I guess it's just wood that she's sharpened, but it kind of looks like a boomerang.
Could have been a boomerang that she sharpened.
Where's she getting the boomerang from?
Suitcase.
They have no suitcases. We've been over this.
There was one and it just had a boomerang in.
Like, those like plastic things you can put bananas in?
Yeah.
It's like
Boomerang
shaped like
case.
a boomerang. Yeah.
And she was like, right, well, I guess I'll make the most of it.
Turning this into a weapon.
Maybe one of them had a boomerang, like, with them when the plane crashed.
On them.
Holding it.
Always got that thing.
My
on
souvenir.
me. Nathan, he went sightseeing.
He went sightseeing. Maybe it's his.
But she's doing it to go and kill boar, isn't she?
Yeah, she says she saw a pig or something.
Yeah. Which I like. I like that as well because it's like, it's day 12 at this point and it's around about day 4, I think, that the survivors of the main section go after the boar.
Yeah.
But it's like Locke has his suitcase full of knives, whereas they've got a sharpened bit of wood. How are they going to take on a boar?
I think she can do it.
I mean, she could do it.
They have also got a man who killed 2 people with a rock. So I feel like they're doing all right.
To be fair.
And another guy who just, like, broke a chicken's neck with his hands. Mm-hmm. So they've not got the worst odds.
Do you think Udwin? Do you think Udwin is going back to his camp of the others and just, like, having a full-on feast?
I reckon.
Snacking away. He comes home and they've got like a whole plate for him. He's like, oh, thank you so much.
Honey, I'm home.
Yeah.
Have your cereal or whatever.
And he's just eating loads of food. And then going back and having his share of the camp's food. Ooh, evil.
That's how he stayed so big and strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're on it's like night of day 12.
It's night of day 12, and this pissed me off. Because Anna Lucia said last week, they took 3 on the first night, Then there was nothing for 2 weeks. Then they came and took 9 more. But it's day 12 when they come and take the 9. So
Yes, so actually it was 11 days.
Yeah, not 2
But,
weeks.
I mean, that's like most of 2 weeks.
I feel like they're counting the days. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
no, it is
there's no
annoying.
way.
It is annoying because it's like,
I
what
mean,
the hell,
I get
man?
that it's clunky to say nothing happened for 11 days and then they came.
Yeah.
But
like, they
annoying
could
me.
have, when writing this, it could have easily happened on day 14.
Yeah. I mean, does
It wouldn't
anything
have been-
happen on day 14?
It wouldn't have changed that much.
Literally nothing. We don't even see day 14.
So it really wouldn't have changed anything.
No.
Because it's just like they were walking for like 4 days and then it's day like 17.
Yeah. So they could have just been walking for less time.
Yeah.
Pissing me
It
off.
is annoying. It's like a pointless plot hole. It's like it didn't need to happen.
Yeah. Annoyed me. But this is when it starts to ramp up, which is a crazy thing to say because things are already pretty ramped. But this is when we start to get the idea that there's a spy because of the list. And Nathan says maybe they're watching us, which I think is even scarier than there's a spy in our midst.
There's someone like right there. But also, so Anna Lucia wasn't on the list, right? Mm-hmm. Because she reads the list and she says there's a list of 9 of us. But that woman still goes for her.
I think she's trying to escape and Anna jumps on her. It's hard to see because it's
hard.
really dark.
It's some kind of like body tackle situation.
But I think she notices that other people have been taken and then goes after the woman. I don't think the woman's trying to go after Anna Lucia.
I read it as the woman had gone for Anna Lucia, but maybe to
But
just
why
sort of
would she if she's not on the
incapacitate
list?
her and then run away.
Because I think also when Goodwin says Nathan's not a good person, that's why he wasn't on the list, it's a bit of a dig at Anna Lucia as well. He's saying
You weren't
you're
on the
not a
list.
good person either.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Do we think Anna Lucia is a good person? I guess it depends on what the others think a good person is.
It depends on what the others think a good person is. I think it also, like, it's a heavy metric of how you define good.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, she's killed people. 2 already. Mm-hmm. She doesn't care
But she
about...
did it to protect the other people.
She did it to protect her group. It's like she doesn't care about Sawyer, you know, she attacks Jin, but it's like she does that to protect the people she's in charge of. They seem to be kind of scared of her, but it's like that's because of the circumstance. I mean, as we know, every character is very grey.
Even more morally grey characters, let's go! But we were saying, like, she doesn't really have there's no one really like her in the main section. And we'll get to it, because obviously we're carrying on going chronologically, but I think we get a little bit of... Because obviously we love Saeed until we get to episode 8, and we see him doing the torture, and then it's like, we have to reassess our opinions on Saeed. And I think we get to that point as well when she puts Nathan in the pit.
Yeah, definitely.
And she threatens to cut his finger off and stuff, you know. Like, that's really horrible and torturous, and it's just like... Again, that's something that we just have to think about. It's something that we're presented with.
Yeah,
know?
definitely. So let's talk about Nathan. I love Nathan. Can I say, I don't think he was a very good person, particularly. I think Goodwin's probably right, because he seems like a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. But I have IBS.
We call him IBS Nathan in this household.
And I love Nathan, because the thing is, he had no reason to be taking 2-hour toilet trips other than he has IBS.
He has IBS. I think it's quite obvious from the evidence that we get in the script. You know, it's in the subtext, but I think we're supposed to know as an audience member that he has IBS.
And I think we're supposed to feel seen and heard by that.
Because not only is he on the plane for 2 hours
in the
shitting,
bathroom,
but he's also shitting for 2 hours on the island as well. On that day, because that's why Anna's suspicious of him. Because she goes, you've gone for 2 hours. And he was like, I was in the bathroom.
Yeah.
IBS Nathan.
So
what a guy.
I just think justice for IBS Nathan.
Yeah.
Because what the hell, man?
I know, and he's only in this episode as well. But we love him.
I like him.
We talk about him quite frequently. IBS
I did like see a TikTok once that said like, it was one of those trends that's like a character who deserved better, and then you swipe to the other side and it's usually like someone major character from the TV show. When I swiped and I went, hang on, am I crazy? And then I was like, no, this is a lost account. And then I clicked on the caption and it said like justice for Nathan. And I was like, whoa,
amazing.
There's another Nathan fan out there.
Shout out.
So if that was you.
If you're a Nathan fan, comment below. If you
that was you.
Comment hashtag IBS Nathan, we can get that trending. We can
get that going.
Yeah.
So this moment in the sort of aftermath of the attack, is a moment I think largely Goodwin does a very good job of acting.
Oh yeah.
And of like,
I was so shocked.
Yeah.
When we first watched this,
definitely.
I did not expect it at all.
Of like being one of them and of being part of it and of like having a good story and stuff. But this is a moment where I giggled a little bit at his acting skills because it's when they're like, we got to go into the jungle. They know we're here. They're going to keep coming for us. And then Nathan's like, what about the signal fire? And she's like, you're the one who said we need to keep it going. And then Goodwin goes, I think it's time we let it go out.
Why did that make you giggle?
Just because it's like, Anne Lucy is going after Nathan, right? And she's like, you're the one who said we keep the signal fire going. And then he's like, Goodwin's the one who lit it. And then Goodwin clearly there's like a moment where his face goes like, whoa. And then he goes, I think it's time we let it go out. And he says it like it's a profound moment.
Well, yeah, because I guess when you're first watching it, it's like they've given up hope of rescue at this point.
But it just made me laugh a little bit because it was clearly like him going like, shit, cover story.
Right,
let's
so
let it go out.
Goodwin lights the fire to let the others know where they are.
I guess, yeah.
On the first night. That must be how they found them on the first night, because we were saying, how's he gone back and forth so quickly?
Yeah.
But they must have seen the fire.
He lit the fire.
Ah, I didn't clock that.
I didn't either.
I thought that's what you were saying.
No, I was saying that, like, they're being suspicious of Nathan, and he's like, this is good.
Yeah.
Because they know there's a spy, but they know it's not me. And then Nathan brings Goodwin into it, and he's going like, fuck, I need to throw the suspicion back off me.
He does also say, let's not get paranoid, let's not jump to conclusions. And I think that's because he doesn't want them to start accusing everybody.
He's like, guys, don't worry about it.
Spy. But at the time, you're just like, oh, Goodwin, what a guy. I mean, good is in his name.
Yeah.
I do find the name Goodwin funny because it's like, his name is good,
yeah.
but he's bad. The Lost writers are like, seeing shrimp colours.
What if his name was good?
What if his name was good?
What if Anna Lucia was the bad guy all along?
Also, it's his surname, right?
I guess. I mean, why would you introduce yourself with your surname?
I don't know, but is Goodwin a first name?
I mean, they make a lot of comments about him being old. I say that, there's a thing at 2. So maybe it's like a old guy name.
But then again, old guy more likely to introduce himself with his surname. Would you not agree?
I mean, John did introduce himself as Mr. Locke.
Yeah, come on. They call him Locke all the time.
Our other certified old guy. So I guess, could be. I don't know.
Anyway, that's the least important thing. So at this point, so we're on day 12, we have 7 people left, right? Because 9 have been taken. We had 16, 9 have been taken, so we now have 7, and those 7 are
our
Alicia,
5 survivors.
Echo, Libby, Cindy, Bernard, Goodwin,
then
and
we
Nathan.
have Goodwin and Nathan.
So this is how we got down to this many people.
We have that answered.
Because we were like, really shocked about how few there were, especially when Libby said that 23 survived the crash. And then Michael's like, I thought you said there were 23 of you, and she said there were.
Yeah. So now we know.
Mm-hmm.
So
round about day 15, I wrote 15 question mark, so obviously that's one of the numbers, but we don't actually get a day 15, it's just we get a scene where Bernard says we've been walking for 4 days. So if it was day 12 when they set off...
It's actually day 16 then.
Another number. I guess, yeah.
And also Ariel can't count. 12 plus 4.
Oh yeah.
Is 16.
Okay, it's day 16 then. Well, maybe he doesn't say 4 days then.
Maybe he says 3.
Maybe he says 3. I wrote down 15, guys. It's giving caves, really. When Jack says it's better to just move all of us here. And, they've got the big wall as like a defense.
Like Anna Lucia is very much like, let's keep moving. And then Nathan's like, what's wrong with this?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, obviously she's suspicious of him at this point, but also like, what is she aiming for?
Yeah, true.
So it's a fairly regular place. And it must be pretty close to their hatch because it's the same pit.
Yeah, and not that far from the beach either, because, like, they bring all of them there. They're able to bring all of, like, Jin, Michael, and Sawyer to the pit in one day.
I think there's a closer beach because Libby and Cindy are just on the beach, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, so that's not the beach they crashed on?
No, that's
gotcha.
they're like fishing or something, I think, when they see Jin. So there's a closer patch of beach.
That makes sense, actually.
Because it's not about going off the beach as much as it's about we just need to be somewhere else because they know that this is where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, they don't like being in the jungle.
No, very much.
So on day 17, we get an absolutely iconic scene. Anna Lucia digging the pit. Oh, I love it. I love it.
I love her pit.
My girl never did anything wrong.
Hashtag my pit.
Hashtag my pit. She's amazing. Digging that pit. With what exactly? Like a rock taped to a stick? She's so cool.
Some kind of shovel she's built herself. And it's the way Libby is like, what are we going to do about it? And she's like, this.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm digging this pit? And then it's Libby's turn to be like,
Libby's like, oh okay. Cool. Right, you're on it then. Okay, out of my hands.
Yeah.
I really love her intensity when she just walks.
Hey Anna.
So Goodwin and Bernard and Nathan are building like a rabbit trap, right?
Yes. So that's interesting as well. Rabbits on the island. We haven't had any rabbits yet, have we?
So, but then like, have they seen rabbits? Or is it just that Nathan knows how to build rabbit traps?
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe it's that he's Canadian. Are there rabbits in Canada? I don't know.
I don't know. Why did you say that?
Because Ethan was Canadian. And then the intensity of like, hey Anna, kicks
him in the face.
So intense. It's so
brutal.
intense. It's like she's taking no prisoners.
Absolutely
Well,
not.
she's taking a prisoner.
Well,
but like,
yes.
it's like she is like fully...
She's over it at this
The
point.
gloves are off.
Yeah. Well and truly. So it's day 19 at this point, and it seems like Anna Lucia has been pushed to breaking point, quite frankly.
She's lost her mind a little bit.
And we get a great scene
And that's
where
okay.
you can hear him shouting in the background saying like, let me out and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're all talking about it, you know, and it's like, what are you doing? You know, he wasn't on the plane. Cindy's like, yeah, I don't remember seeing him. I'm pretty good with faces.
That's so interesting, isn't it? How they all managed to convince themselves that he wasn't on the plane.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's one of those things of like, you know, that, I know we're talking about psychology again, but do you remember that study where they like looked at eyewitness accounts and they did these studies where they would like change the language they use when they asked the questions, or they would like they'd start asking like leading questions to try and like see if people could just completely misremember things. And it very much seems like that, like all it takes is one of them to say, did you see him on the plane? For them all to go, you know, now that you say it, no, I didn't. And it's like, of course you didn't, it's a big plane.
Yeah. And also he was shitting.
Also he was in the bathroom.
Also it's really interesting because Goodwin wasn't on the plane, but Cindy doesn't go, I don't remember you.
No.
So clearly she's not that good at remembering faces.
It's just so
it's
interesting.
What they do is they hound Nathan because he's a bit weird.
And also because he's like mean to them.
He's a bit mean, he's a bit creepy. Libby says he creeps me out. He's a bit different to the rest of the group, and also they have these pieces of evidence of him being absent for these periods of time. I think that's really interesting because not only from a psychological perspective of how like the person who's
the scapegoat,
becomes the scapegoat, but also because we talked a lot about how Ethan was really well cast because the actor can play really well this kind of creepy, very still. I'm not going to say he has a creepy face because I feel like that's a bit rude, but he can
make himself look creepy.
It's
not like an inherent
creepy.
facial thing.
No.
So,
and we kind of get that with Nathan, but not with Goodwin. Goodwin's very charismatic.
And that's great.
And helpful.
Because it's
and
like
friendly.
That's what we're expecting. So like as viewers, as soon as they float the idea of a spy, we're like, well of course there's a spy because there's a spy in the front section.
Yeah.
So we're like, who is it? It's the creepy one. You're so easily led that it's Nathan because it's like he's the one who's a bit weird, and Goodwin is so like nice that he plays it so differently. They clearly had very different techniques.
Yeah,
you know,
which is really, really good. Makes really, really exciting telly. And I feel so sorry for Nathan.
God, it's
Poor
like it's
guy
awful.
was just like, hounded the entire time,
And he
tortured,
was in there.
and he was just totally innocent.
He was in that pit for 4 days.
4 numbers. Yeah. Yeah, he was, because that's day 19 is when she kicks him in the face. And then we get day 23. Day 23 is when the shit hits the fan.
First of all, it's when Ana Lucia is interrogating him.
Yeah, let's go for the first interrogation because I love that one.
Where are the kids?
Where are the kids? Nothing. Where are the kids? And then she goes, where are you from? Canada. What were you doing in Australia? Company retreats. Don't know why that made me giggle, but it did.
It's so normal. It's like you're standing in a pit in the middle of a jungle and it's like my business.
Yeah. And then where are the rest of them? I stayed on a few days to sightsee. And it's like, he says it with such spite, and that's perfect.
Because like, God, of course he's regretting it so much, you know?
Much. Yeah, absolutely.
All he wanted to do was see some kangaroos, and now he's on a damn island.
Yeah.
Like...
And then I love the bit where he goes, I don't remember seeing you on the plane, Anna. And she goes,
That's because you
weren't on it. Oh, the delivery's just so good. And I love that he doesn't quite back down to her, do you know what I mean? Like, he's still trying to throw it back on her.
Because it's also like, if you were in that situation, where you know that you're innocent, I'd start being like, well, what if it's Ana Lucia? Because she's taken this role as a leader, and then she's immediately accused me and everyone's gone for it.
Could be.
I'd be like, it's her.
Mm-hmm. Like, he has more strength than I would, I think. I think I would collapse into a puddle if Ana Lucia threw me into a pit. I'd just be like, I'm so sorry.
But then it's like, maybe she'd believe you if you did that, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
So Echo gives him food.
Yes.
This is interesting.
I wrote down here, Echo stands up to her. Even though he's not saying anything and he's not really doing anything, he's not being aggressive towards Ana Lucia, he goes against her authority. And I think that's really interesting when we were talking about their dynamic in the previous episodes, how he seems to be one of the only characters who actually properly challenges her.
But it's like he doesn't free him.
No.
You know?
Which is interesting. So does that mean on a level he's suspicious?
Maybe he's suspicious, but he's like still treat him like a human being.
So he's still being interrogated on day 23. And of course day 23 is when all the crazy stuff happens because it's one of the numbers. I wrote down, fuck is she eating, like a raw radish, ?
Yeah, I really don't know. It's like a turnip or something.
Yeah, what is that?
Where did she get that from? And that scene is
a great scene.
Something. So that's, we're not savages.
If I were a savage, I would have cut his finger off already.
That's tomorrow.
Ah! Screaming! I'm screaming, I'm crying, and I'm throwing up.
I gave him the opportunity. If you want me to be a savage, I'll be a savage.
Oh, it's just so good. But really, really, truly, Ana Lucia is just over it at this point.
Yeah.
And she is, she's abandoned all kind of the world outside of the island, hasn't she?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? She's like, it's kill or be killed right now, really.
Which is like so fair because that's how it is, you know?
Also worth noting as well that Goodwin asks her if she has any kids, and then there's a very long pause, and then she says no.
History there?
Interesting. Remember that, people. And this is when she says, like, I made a promise to that girl. She really feels.
Yeah.
We get how much of a responsibility she feels. And I mean, it is all from her perspective. Nathan's a horrible, horrible person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because also like if she's gotten in this space where she is convinced that it's him. It's like, of course she's having that kind of reaction.
And then the absolute gag. I was so shocked. Because you think that Goodwin is just freeing Nathan, don't you?
You're like, oh, he's nice. Yeah. And he's like, he gives him the food, and he's like, she's gonna hurt you. Like, just run away. It's not like it's not like come back to the group. It's like, you just gotta run away.
Yeah, because we all think she's gonna hurt you. It's like, it's kind of like the group v Ana Lucia rather than the group v Nathan. And Goodwin's using that.
Yeah.
Even though, like, no one's gonna
No one's gonna know, but
No.
it's like, even, you know, he's still putting on that persona. He gives him like the bundle of food and then he goes like, run that way.
So evil, so awful. And then, so what? Then he just buries Nathan's body somewhere in the jungle.
This is the thing, is Goodwin is like awake when Alicia wakes up.
Yeah, creepily.
Creepily, over her. So it's like, I guess he just didn't go back to sleep. Like, in my head, it's like, what happened there is he waited for everyone to fall asleep. He was on watch, you know? He was like, I'll watch to see if they come. Because it seems like at this point, they have, like, that kind of system in place after the second incident. Because, like, it happens later on.
Wouldn't you?
Cindy, in a couple episodes ago, Cindy was, like, on watch when they woke up. So he's, like, on watch. He's gone off. Obviously, he knows they're not coming. You know, he's gone off. He's let Nathan go. He's buried him. And then he's just gone back and laid down, like almost right as they've woken up. That's kind of in my head how it's gone, you know?
And, you know, if we do think the others are superhuman in some way, like Ethan's got his superhuman strength and stuff, then maybe he doesn't really need sleep.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it's just all those, you know, all those meals he's been eating.
He's just so...
He's
fueled and powered and
bury
ready for the
Nathan,
day.
runs back to the others' camp, slams a Red Bull, crushes it against his forehead, throws it in the grass, runs back, lays down.
Morning.
Nathan's gone. This is what they say when they wake up.
Nathan's gone. Said it with such an intensity.
Nathan's gone.
Nathan's gone.
So
Nathan's gone. Day 24, Nathan's gone.
they think that then the others have found them and they freed Nathan,
Yeah.
but haven't taken anyone else.
Which is interesting, right? Why would they not take any of the others? But then it's like, the others never come again, do they? And take any of that group. So it's like, none of these people are people on the list, good people they want
I
to take.
suppose.
Apart from Echo, they obviously wanted to take Echo.
But then maybe after he kills one of them, it's like, we don't want him anymore.
Yeah. Or we can't physically take him on.
Or maybe we just take the L.
We
on that
need
one.
reinforcements, guys.
We'll just leave that one. He can stay.
Day 26, we get a brief scene of them on the move, and Annalicia side-eyes Goodwin.
She's suspicious.
She's suspicious. Oh, I forgot to mention day 24, we get a really nice perspective up from the pit shot. Which
Yeah.
I really like. Because I know those camera people were going down into that
the
hole and loving it. They probably really dug a big hole in
Yeah.
the ground in
They
the
would have
middle
just
of
made
Hawaii, right? Which is really fun. It's like, you don't often get really good set pieces in this show. I mean,
No.
I'm sure they do use bits and bobs, you know, that look like they're filmed in the jungle but aren't, or whatever.
Yeah, stuff like when they go into like the Black Rock.
Yeah.
That will just have been a set.
Sure.
I don't think they brought a shipwreck into the jungle. You
I
know?
doubt it. But something like that pit, I imagine they really did dig,
Yeah,
which is really cool.
I think so. I think it's really fun. It probably is like deceptively deep. They probably made them like squat down a little bit. So
Yeah.
actually they could get out if they needed to or something like that, you know.
Oh, I'm sure there were lots of health and safety and they didn't make Annalicia just do it all by herself with the rock.
Of course, no. Right, so then they find
Day 27 is where they find the hat.
the hatch.
So, very interesting and very confusing. Why does it say quarantine on this door? Because
I have some thoughts on this.
Look, it makes more sense for it to be on the hatch, the Swan Station hatch door, because A, it's completely sealed. B, there's a person down there. C, they've convinced the person down there that everyone else is sick, as in ill, as in dead, / the whole world is destroyed / whatever. So either it's a psychological thing or there actually is some kind of sickness. We've talked about this, we don't know. But it makes more sense because it's all sealed in and whatnot. Why would it say quarantine on this door?
That they can just open.
That they can just open, nobody's in there, there are no chairs, there are no beds, there's no food. Clearly no one was staying here. No one was living in this hatch.
So I have some thoughts on this.
Go on.
I have a theory that actually the quarantine refers to the outside world.
Okay, what do you mean?
So that this, like, Dharma initiative. Okay, so let me spin this yarn.
Okay, here we go.
Live in this world with me. The Dharma initiative arrive on the island.
Yeah.
They're doing all their experiments. They bring their polar bears, whatever. They realise there's this sickness, this whatever it is. Maybe it's linked to the whispers, maybe it makes people crazy, whatever it is. We don't know, obviously. They then all quarantine themselves in
structures
they've built. And then it's like, in order to go outside, you have to, like, I don't know, wear a hazmat suit, or you have to inject yourself with, like, vaccinations, or you have to, or it's like, don't go outside. And so the quarantine stamps are actually to remind them not to go out. Because I don't believe that these are the only 2 hatches.
Well, now that we know that there are more than one.
Because now we know there's 2, I'm like, why would one of them be a fully self-sufficient, like,
well, actually, no,
hatch?
We knew already, didn't we, from the orientation tape?
Oh, yes, of course.
It says 3 of 6. But there's no tape here. No tape, no camera. I don't believe people were living in this hatch.
No, but then we don't know that people were living in all of them.
No, but then that makes no sense with your quarantine theory, does it? Why would people be staying in
maybe
there?
They weren't intended to live in them. But, like, they built that one as a storage unit, and then it was like, okay, everyone's getting sick and dying. We need to barricade ourselves in here where it's safe.
What, so they spray paint the word quarantine on the door and then don't bother to bring any chairs?
Maybe they had chairs and then they left. There's no skeletons in there. You know, they obviously didn't barricade themselves in and then never leave again.
I don't understand why they would spray quarantine on the door, if that was the case.
To remind themselves, don't go out.
Surely they're aware.
What if they forget? You don't know.
I think it may be another plot hole. Or it's a red herring, or it's a way to be like, ooh, quarantine.
More importantly, rewind a little bit, when they find the door, Goodwin frowned really severely at the bunker door. And it didn't seem like a, oh no, we found this. It seemed confused.
Like he didn't know.
Like maybe he didn't know it was there.
That's interesting, because that gives us a kind of separation between the others and the Dharma Initiative.
Because maybe he was acting, but it really, no one, they're all looking at this far away thing. It feels like he genuinely didn't know it was there, or didn't know they were going to find it, or has no idea what's in there.
Interesting. Because you think the others know the island so well, surely they'd know everything that's on it, right?
Especially if they live nearby to where they are.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like, you know, there was Goodwin's also an older character, so if he's
been there a long time.
He's been on the island a long time, you would think...
Since the 70s, 80s, when the Dharma Initiative started.
He knew about the Dharma Initiative, or he was a part of the Dharma Initiative or something, but obviously not. The logo has an arrow on it, so I'm going to go ahead and call this station the Arrow.
The Arrow, the Swan, feels reasonable.
Feels reasonable. I mean, station is maybe a strong word.
This room...
Yeah.
It's called the Arrow.
They call it a bunker. Let's go with bunker.
Bunker feels reasonable. So they find a box that contains... Well, the Bible isn't inside the box, is it? Isn't it, like, on top or something?
I think it's inside, but much of a muchness, really.
Okay, so they have a Bible. This is also an indication that Echo is a Christian.
He's a Christian, yes.
Because he holds the Bible and looks very intensely at the Bible.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty confirmed.
So... Given that, and the 40 days thing, and the praying thing, he's pretty Christian.
Mm-hmm. Why is there a Bible?
Why is there a Bible?
On the island? But then we've had Virgin Mary statues filled with heroin, so that's not that unreasonable.
What's more unreasonable?
The glass eye.
Why is there a glass eye? What's that all about?
Why is
Whose eye is that?
Why is there just a glass eye in a box, in a hatch, in a bunker in the jungle?
A glass eye in a box in a bunker in the jungle. It feels like one of those, like, stupid nonsense poems.
Yeah.
You know, like the frog...
I don't know why there's a glass eye.
Yeah.
But there's
like
a glass eye.
The frog on the log in the bog. It's like, there's a glass eye in a box in a bunker in the jungle.
Where nobody goes.
And there's the radio.
So the radio is very exciting.
So this is where they got the radio from.
Yes.
I had assumed it would be from the plane.
But obviously not.
But it isn't.
So that's interesting because we kind of get the idea that Desmond was not able to communicate with anybody else.
Yeah.
And that, you know, the Dharma Initiative didn't leave any sort of communication equipment down with them, apart from the computer, which you can't use other than to put
for
the
anything
numbers
other than
in,
putting
right?
in the numbers.
So he can't communicate with anyone on the island or off the island, but they do have radios. And it seems like that box was left there by the Dharma Initiative because Goodwin didn't. If we say, and these are big ifs. Number one, the jump is the Dharma Initiative and the others are separate. Number two, the others didn't know about this room.
At the very least, this bunker, if not the Dharma Initiative as a whole.
So I'm going to say that everything in that box has not been touched since whenever.
It's also, it's like
years.
the radio is very sophisticated technology.
Which we haven't seen from the others, right?
You know, the most sophisticated technology we've seen from them is a knife.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. So very good point. But guys, we never get an explanation for the glass eye.
I have to be real, yeah.
I forgot the glass eye was there, and then it pissed me off today, because I was like...
I don't remember ever seeing it before.
We never find out. But
I'm interested in it.
The glass eye, the dolls... These are some things.
I guess they're just kind of creepy things that they put around to make you go, ooh. Which, I mean, it worked.
That's it, really. Yeah. But I do like that we get some red herrings, you know.
Yeah.
It is good. But the glass eye is such a random one. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not really that important. Like, it never comes up again. Like, no one ever goes, hey, what about this glass eye? And then you never find out. Like, it literally never gets brought up again.
No, they didn't even keep it.
No.
When they left the arrow, they didn't bring it with them.
Someone in the, you know, main section could have needed that. But did they think? No, they didn't think. But they don't really have backpacks, though, is also something crucial.
Pockets.
Yeah. But I think that's another key difference between, like, they really have basically no possessions. They're just walking around with the clothes on their back, you know?
Yeah. They even, like... Cindy has, like, that headband that doesn't... It seems to be that she's just kind of fashioned that out or something.
Ripped up, yeah.
Ripped up like a bit of clothing. All of their things on, you know, Anna Lucia's, like, hair is down in the crash. And then I think she straight up, like, has, like, you know, I think it's tied back with, like, string or something, you know? It's almost like they're devolving into the others.
Yeah.
You know?
Really interesting
It's like
idea.
they have these clothes that are, like, destroyed. Like, Echo's shirt very much especially is very bedraggled. And it's like that looks very similar to how they're dressed. They have no possessions. Or very few possessions. They have no, like, identification. I mean, none of them probably have, like, wallets on them or anymore or anything like that.
Maybe this is how the others started, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just, like, a crash and then they had to fend for themselves and then...
Maybe it's that Ethan and Goodwin are part of separate groups.
Yeah.
You know? And there's just all these tiny groups of people out there who are just, like, fending for themselves. We don't know. Maybe.
But then why are they kidnapping people? Do you know
But then
what
why
I
are they
mean?
kidnapping people? This is the thing. Because you could just go chat. Like, I feel like if these people, obviously, forget about the fact that people among them have been kidnapped, but like if the tail section people came across another group that had just crashed, they would just be like, hello.
Yeah.
We live here.
Apart from the fact that they do kidnap Jin.
But they think he's
that's
another.
the context. Yeah, exactly. It's like, if the others weren't malevolent, they would have just done that as well. Just come and introduce themselves to everybody and been like...
said, we can help you. You know,
Yeah.
obviously they know how to survive on the island. They could have helped them.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have saved some of their lives.
They have a fucking boat.
They have a boat.
Like, hello. So day 27 is also an absolutely...
A juicy day.
Juicy day. So, Goodwin's like, fuck, they have a radio. Which is interesting, because it's like, when Saeed builds his radio, and they hear Rousseau's transmission, don't they? And so it's like, the kind of like, they don't seem to be able to get a signal off the island. They can just hear a signal that's transmitting off the island. They're not able to transmit anything themselves. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what Saeed was trying to do when John hit him over the head. You know that one?
He was trying to find the radio tower that was transmitting
He was trying to
Danielle's
find the radio
message.
tower. Okay.
So he had like it was like if it's within this triangle of these 3 things, then I'll get like a signal on my thing.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, yeah, he definitely has a signal, doesn't he? He's at least trying to communicate. But Goodwin seems to think they will be able to communicate off the island.
Or that they will communicate with the front section.
Ah, interesting. Okay, didn't consider that.
Because they do end up doing that.
They do end up doing that. That would imply Goodwin knows the front section are there and knows that they have radio equipment. Or thinks they might have access to radio
Thinks
equipment.
they may have I mean, if he knows that they're there, presumably he would know that they have stuff from the plane.
But does he know that they're there?
But does he know that they're there? We don't know how much he knows,
He's obviously communicating with his people, but that depends if Ethan is communicating or not and whatnot.
Or if they're...
Ethan didn't seem to have a list or make a list or anything like that, did he?
Hurley's the one with the list.
Yeah, hello. He wasn't on the plane.
But yeah, maybe it's that Ethan and Goodwin are both referring back to their, like, boss, I don't know, whoever's in charge, whoever's the leader of the others, but that person is not then going, and by the way, this is what Goodwin's up to.
Yeah. I mean, who
knows? No one knows.
So, do the others have a boat, and they know where the raft is? Is that some kind of radio technology?
Maybe, but maybe it's also that they know that the raft set off, and so they sailed around after
How
it.
do they know the raft set off? This is the thing. Ethan dies, but they are still keeping tabs on the main
They
section
are still watching
somehow.
them because they know.
Because they know, and then they take the boy.
Yeah, I mean, they know, they do set off the flare gun.
Oh, yeah. But they're already around, aren't they?
Yeah, then they set off the flare gun because they see the boat. And then it sails towards them. So it's like, if they knew they were in the ocean nearby somewhere, they could have maybe just kind of sailed around until they saw the flare and then gone, okay, there they are.
That's fair enough. Okay, interesting. So it's... Oh, I've lost track of what my point was. My point was, Goodwin clearly doesn't want them to have the radio, right? I don't know what he's afraid of, but he doesn't want them to have the radio. Because he snatches it from Bernard and he goes, we're too low down, we need to take it to higher ground. I'll go. Clearly he's planning to go up to a hill, destroy it, and then go, it broke. It fell from a thingy or something.
I got attacked by a boar.
Yeah.
And it knocked it out of my hands.
That's clearly his plan.
This is confirmation to Ana Lucia, I think, that he's the mole. Because it's that, like, why wouldn't you want us all to go? And she goes, I'll go with you.
But the crazy thing is, at this point, you as a viewer still think that Alicia trusts Goodwin. So you're like, no! Oh my gosh, don't go up there alone with him. He's going to kill you. Oh, and I love this scene. This scene is one that is very, very, very important to me. This scene between Alicia and Goodwin is so fucking good. It's one of my favourite scenes in the whole show. It's so tense. It's like one of the tensest scenes ever. Like, I really, really love the passing of the knife between them. He goes, can I have the knife?
And she, like, freezes. And it's like,
audience, you're like
it's one of those things where it's like, I have no reason not to give him the knife. Because she doesn't want to let on that she knows.
Of course not.
Yet. She wants to fish for a little bit more information. And I think when she points out that the knife is an army knife, that's also like, you would know that. If you were in the Peace Corps, you would know about the army.
Yeah.
You would know. You would know it's a US Army knife.
Story, yeah.
And she doesn't say that to him. She doesn't say, it's funny, I would have thought you'd know about that. She just goes, oh, I'll show you. And then, like, points it out. But clearly she's going, he would know. Because also the fact that it's an old army knife, and that he says, like, oh, I'm surprised someone your age knows about the Peace Corps. It's like, who really knows about the army?
There are connections here, yeah, for sure. But yeah, because you think... So why does Goodwin want the knife? Is it because he's afraid of Ana Lucia? Or is it just an innocent thing that he wants to chop up the mango?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We don't know.
And
she gives it to him.
He chops the mango.
And then he hands her the slice with his hand on the knife and the mango on the knife, and she takes it and her hand is right on the blade.
Her hand...
It's so tense and crazy.
It, like, brushes against his finger and then along the knife, and then she, like, takes the mango.
Thank you. Just takes the mango. And I'm like...
And eats it.
I literally... I'm holding my breath. I'm on the edge of my seat. My entire body is tense. It's so, so good. And then she gets the knife back
And when
off
she goes,
him.
here, I'll show you, and he goes, he like pulls it back a little bit. He's like, you can't have this back.
There's so much subtext in that scene, isn't there? I think both of them are trying to figure out if the other one knows, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're both trying to like maintain the upper hand without letting on that they know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so good, so good, so good.
And then what I didn't write down the line. I kind of didn't make many notes for this scene because I was like, I just need to watch it, you know, because it's so good. But it's like,
I wrote down that there's no music or anything
Yeah.
like that. I think that really adds to it. Because, you know, the musical score in this show is really good, but I think the moments when there's no music are also really well chosen.
especially with regards to the others, because I talked about how in the finale the music swells when the boat arrives and then it fades away again, and that's when you realise something's wrong because the music's gone away.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I don't remember the specific line, but she says something that suddenly switches the conversation.
Yeah.
And it's the way Goodwin's demeanour changes when she says that.
I didn't write it down, but I do remember. So basically, again, I wasn't making many notes. So she says, can I ask you a question? How did you find Bernard on the
That
first
was it.
day?
Yes. How did you find Bernard?
And he goes, I heard him screaming from the beach. And then she says something like,
From the beach? Did he see you?
did he see you? Is that why you pretended to be one of us? And then there's like a long kind of zoom on Goodwin, and he does a little, like he cracks his neck a little bit. It's like a little kind of shrug. It's very subtle. He just tilts his head to the side and kind of shrugs back. And it's like, this is when the really sinister side comes out. Because he is really scary. I do think Goodwin is scary.
Yeah.
And this is the point where it really shifts. And then it's the fact that they don't immediately
fight. They
fight.
keep having
They
that conversation.
keep having the conversation.
And it's like, you came out of the jungle
And you
10
weren't
minutes after the
wet.
crash. You weren't wet.
That's the bit of evidence that she's used to figure this whole thing out. She's a genius.
Because it's like, you wouldn't even, like, if he was going, just running towards the crash site, he wouldn't think, or jump in the ocean.
You might not even know it went in the ocean.
Yeah, and obviously he was running towards the beach and then saw Bernard. And then was like,
It happened exactly like Anna Lucia said, didn't it?
he saw you. Is that why you pretended to be one of us?
Is that why you pretended to be one of us? Oh, and that's really interesting as well, because it's like, you kind of get the idea that Goodwin's improvising.
Yeah, that maybe the plan was, like Nathan said, for them to just watch. You know? Maybe this is what happened with the front section. Maybe this is they were just watching them, and then it wasn't until, like, complications with the baby that then Ethan had to get involved. But because there were so many of them, he could kind of enter the fray mid sort of season.
People didn't realise.
And people didn't notice.
It's an interesting theory, but it's also like, you know, she thinks that Goodwin is improvising. What if he wasn't? What if his plan was to infiltrate the group from the start, and that's what Ethan's plan was as well?
Maybe.
You know, that's also a possibility.
We don't know.
But he's not going to let on, is he? He's not going to tell Anna Lucia that.
No.
And then he doesn't say anything for a long time. And then it's only when she asks him about Nathan, did you kill him? He goes, you would have chopped off his finger. Something like,
If you'd have chopped off his finger and he still said he was innocent, then you would have started to think you got the wrong guy.
Oh! So he literally only killed Nathan just to cover his own back.
I don't-
Really interesting, because it's like, how are they able to tell who's good and who isn't? And what are they basing that judgment on? Just on what they do on the island? Because, like, we've seen with the main characters, a lot of them are bad on the island but good in the past, or good on the island but bad in the past. They're all morally grey. And so, like, if you're only going off what you see on the island, if he's only going off the conversations he's had with Nathan, how is he able to tell that he's not good? And how were they able to tell on the first night and shit?
Who was good? Seems like they have some kind of other knowledge. Did they know the plane was going to crash? You know, did they know about
That
the
would be
people
insane.
beforehand?
How would they know the plane was going to crash?
I don't know.
That's an insane thing to throw out there.
Well, they might.
How?
They're magic.
Fuck's sake.
The fortune-telling book.
You can't
Maybe
just
they have
be
Jin's
like,
friends.
Jin's friends
Fortune-telling book being
book.
like, there's going to be a doctor and a guy with a stick.
You can't just be like, the others are magic, and then that's it.
They are. So, Then we have the children are fine.
They what does he say? They have a better life now?
He's like, so...
They're better off now.
Yeah, so she says, why did you take the kids or something?
She asks him if he killed the kids. And he says, the kids are fine.
The children are fine.
And
they're better off now.
And he laughs a little and smiles a little bit and says, they're better off now.
And that's when she attacks.
Yes. Which, understandable. But also interesting. What does he mean by that?
I guess they believe that they are... You know, they don't think they're the villains in this situation, do they?
No, and also, like, earlier on, she goes, why do you think they attack us? And he says, maybe they aren't attacking us. So, from his perspective, it's like, we're not trying to cause harm to you.
And it's like, we don't know what happens after they get taken.
No.
Crucially, because Claire has amnesia. So we don't know, you know, maybe they are doing well. Maybe they're being fed, you know,
also,
3 meals a day and they're,
yeah,
you know...
look at what's happening with the tail section. They're not exactly living the high life,
They're not very well off.
No.
It wouldn't take much for them to be better off now.
But it's the implication that it's like, you're not going to get back to your mum in Los Angeles. Do you know what I mean? You're
in a better place.
It's very culty.
It's also a little bit like heaven, like they're in a better place. Is this like a sort of Grim Reaper take your hand, lead you into the afterlife?
Interesting idea, yeah. I swear there was something else the other day that I was like, oh, I feel like that fits with the purgatory theory, which I feel like we talked about on the podcast before.
Yeah, it was a bit of a common thing,
time.
Was the idea that they all died in the plane crash and they're actually in purgatory.
Yeah. But there are many issues with that theory.
And that would then, like, maybe it's that once you get taken by the others, you move on.
But then why did we see the kid running around in the jungle then?
And also, how did Claire get back?
Yeah.
It doesn't really make
Claire got back from death.
From heaven.
And also what happens when people die on the island? Do you know what I mean?
It doesn't really make sense, but, like, not much in this show does, so it's kind of okay. And then, maybe one of my favourite Ana Lucia moments ever.
Yeah.
Stabbed with a stick.
The harpoon, as I like to call it.
To the chest.
Incredible.
And the awful thing, it's so crazy because it's like, you know that that's going to happen to Goodwin.
Yeah.
But you sort of forget, you know?
Yeah.
The more you get to know him as a character, the more you forget that, like, you know he's dead.
This is the thing that when he first appears, you're like, oh, he's so nice and he helps them out so much. And that must have been why it was so devastating when they killed him. You know, like when she goes, remember Goodwin? It's like, yeah, we all loved Goodwin and then he got killed by the others.
The others killed him.
No. Goodwin.
Do you remember what I did to Goodwin because he kidnapped us?
Goodwin was the one who caused all this shit. He was another and he caused all of the kidnappings. And it's just so good because he grabs the stick initially as well and then she throws it like a full-on javelin and then they fall down that hill. Oh, it's such a fucking good scene. I love it.
And it's the fact
a dramatic death.
She throws it, they fall down the hill, she grabs it and just holds it up.
And he falls onto it.
And it's like she doesn't even actually... It's almost like a passive kill, you know? It's like she just holds it up and waits for him to fall. And he's like, he makes that horrible sort of gasping noise.
And there's blood everywhere. Oh, so good.
And it's the way,
she
like...
kind of breaks it off a bit as well, breaks the stick off a bit.
She snaps it when she's getting up. And then it's like she comes back to the camp and they're like, where's Goodwin? She says, we're safe here now.
She's so cool. She's so cool.
Crazy.
So yeah, I mean, like, we talked about how there's been a lot more death with the tail section than there is with the main section, but also a lot more murder.
A lot of killing.
Because we've had Echo killed 2 people, Ana Lucia has killed 2 people, and Goodwin has killed 1 person.
3 people if you count Shannon.
Oh yes, Ana Lucia has killed 3 people. Thank you for reminding me.
Because that sort of happens in this episode.
Yeah. Whereas the only murders we've had in the main section, I think, were Ethan killing Scott and Charlie killing Ethan.
Then there's also the Marshal, if you count that.
I wouldn't say that's murder, because they're kind of just putting him out of his misery, aren't they?
It's a killing, but it's like a mercy killing. It's a bit different. Then we get the radio scene.
Oh my god, so it's not done. It's not done. We thought that was the big dramatic finale. No.
Oh,
Bernard is our radio babe. He's like, you know, Saeed with his technology.
Radio Gaga.
But the reason he is Radio Gaga is because he wants to find Rose.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And you see a wonderful moment of hope from him. And I think it's beautiful that he's the one who actually speaks on the radio, because it's like, suddenly he's like, they said Oceanic 815, they're still out there.
They know our
suddenly
flight
he gets
number.
this hope that Rose is alive.
And it's not like when we heard this transmission before, we weren't really sure what it said.
No.
I truly thought what came through the radio was there were no survivors of Flight 815.
Which lends itself to the purgatory theory.
But what we know now is that it was we're the survivors of Flight 815.
We're the survivors of 815.
Which also, can I just say, Netflix subtitles spoil that.
Do they?
Yeah, because I got a text from my friend Bathsheba, who's watching along with us and listening to the podcast after that episode came out, saying, you said that you couldn't tell what was said in the transmission, but the next week's subtitle said it says, we're the survivors of 815. Is that wrong?
Awful.
And I was like, oh no, that's right. That's just you not supposed to know.
That's awful, because this was such a shock.
I know.
When
I
you
was
figured
like,
it
come
out,
on, Netflix.
It was like, Mayday, Mayday. And at first you're like, oh my goodness, they're talking off the island. They're going to get rescued. And then it's like, oh my God, it's Boone. It's Boone on the other end of the radio.
Yeah.
So cool. And yeah, the repeat your transmission. And he's so happy, isn't he, on the other end?
And this really, really parallels so perfectly, because that's such a huge, like, canon event in the timeline of season 1, that you're like, in this time between the crash and the finding the yellow plane, this is what's happened in that time to the tail section people.
Yeah, exactly. Really, really interesting.
And it brings you back to this idea that these plot lines are going to connect as well.
Yes, the connection's really exciting. So 2 things that I would like to note. 1, it supports the kind of theory that there's no communications off the island at the minute, because they're just communicating with each other.
Yeah.
So it's all internal, which I think is really interesting, even though both of them think that they're speaking to off the island, but they're not. And 2, on the timelines here, so this happens on day 41.
Are you going to say the same thing that I was about to say?
I was going to say, so Boone dies on day 41, Shannon obviously dies on day 48. So actually, it really isn't that long.
Oh, okay, that's not what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
Well, first of all, if we back up a little bit, yes, this is but they think it's, Ana Lucia thinks it's the others, right? She thinks it's them trying to draw them out and being like, we're the survivors, because obviously, like, I think that's a completely reasonable thing to think.
Totally.
Because it's like, you've had people pretend they're survivors.
Also, she's so jaded right now. See, she's so over the island's bullshit. She's like, it's them, we're all gonna die, we're only delaying the inevitable.
I know, and what she says actually that I thought was really interesting is she says, there are no survivors of Flight 815. And I'm like, that to me feels like she's including them in that. Ooh. She's like, and then she says, this is our life now, get used to it. That feels like we're gonna die too, it's only inevitable.
Yeah,
you know?
I like that.
There are no other survivors. It's there are no survivors of Flight 815.
No survivors of 815. Oh, yeah, really interesting. I mean, the this is our life now, get used to it is a devastating thing to say.
The other thing I was going to say...
They've not even had any Apollo bars. They haven't had their morning chocky bar for 48 days, Velvet.
Don't talk to me before I've had my morning chocky bar. Is that then immediately after this is day 41, we get this scene where Echo speaks again for the first time.
Yes.
And Ana Lucia cries. And we'll talk about that scene. But what I was going to say is that this day, 41... is the day that Ana Lucia, it's like you waited 40 days to talk, you waited 40 days to cry, that this is also the day that Boone dies and the day that Aaron is born.
Yeah, interesting, yeah.
Just feels like a very nice sort of circular moment.
It's a big day on the island.
Especially because it's like Echo took that vow of silence because he took 2 lives, and then it's like this was the day that the baby was born, this was the day that, like, you know...
So what you're saying is Aaron is actually reincarnated the 2 people that Echo killed.
Those 2 people that Echo killed. And it's like Echo gets his voice back in the same way that, like, John kind of... He's, like, almost loses the ability to walk again, and then after the accident he kind of gets it back again. It's like, it feels like a very sort of spiritual day. Also that it's, like, it's the 1st of November, We looked at the timeline, didn't we?
Oh, yes.
It's like Halloween is day 40, and then day 41 is the 1st of November. And it's like Halloween is obviously, it's the witching day. It's the day of all the spirits, and this is very spiritual stuff is happening on the island.
Absolutely.
Feels
also,
very intentional to me.
Desmond
the light coming through.
Yeah.
It feels very intentional to me that all these things happened at the same time.
Yeah. The only annoying part, all of that's wonderful, all of that's beautiful and really nice to think about what's all happening on the island on this day. The only annoying part is that it's all day 41 and not 42.
Yeah.
Which is the number.
If it could only have happened tomorrow.
I guess the night,
it's
it
nighttime.
could be day 42. But we don't even see day 42. I was pissed off at that. I was like,
no.
Don't even see day 42.
So this is Echo has gone through a 40-day vow of silence. Yeah. Obviously, this is like a Jesus thing. It feels,
it's a Jesus thing.
40 days, 40 nights in the desert.
We've reached the final one of this episode. I feel like there's been 4, possibly.
Scenes 4?
This episode is so fucking good. It's all the numbers. This scenes that's so important to me.
This scene is brilliant.
I love this scene so much.
This is I have to point out, Ana Lucia, we've said, as a character, she is so different to everyone we've seen before. The only moment she seems remotely happy, there's this moment in the Arrow where they first go in and she flicks that switch on the electricity and the light turns on and she laughs.
And I think she's kind of like, holy shit, there's electricity on the
She's
island.
like, wow.
Yeah.
And it's like this kind of fascination of something that she's lost. And that is other than that, it's she's angry.
A shit show.
She's angry and she's mad, and this is when it kind of breaks. And it's so good.
It's so wonderful because she's been so tough and she's had to go through so much and she's had to do so much for these people and protect them.
And take that burden for herself. She goes up to that hill with Goodwin knowing that he might kill her. Yeah. Knowing that only one of them is going to come back alive.
Yeah.
And she doesn't bring any of the rest of them with her. She could have told Echo what was going on and said, come with me.
As
or
backup.
you go do it. She could have, but she didn't. She took that upon herself to protect the rest of them and keep them safe.
And also don't forget that a lot of them don't have hated her for how aggressive she's being. A lot of them have been frightened of her, especially when she was interrogating Nathan and stuff.
And it seems like she's willing to let them be afraid of her for the sake of keeping them safe, which I think is an incredible thing to have happen.
And I just think this moment, this sort of breakdown, is so brilliant because we just see all of her vulnerability and it's such a beautiful moment. Visually it looks great, the framing of the shot and everything, and I just feel so much for Ana Lucia in that moment. And I'm just the first thing that Echo says after his vow of silence is, it's going to be okay.
That's incredible.
I'm sobbing. I'm on the floor and I'm screaming and I'm crying
because that is there are so many moments where Echo could have spoken during that.
In fact, Ana Lucia, because when they get all attacked again, she says, "You're still not saying anything. What's it going to take for you to speak?"
And what it takes is for her to start crying.
Don't talk to me. Nobody talked to me for 48 business days.
And also, it's one of those things where it's also when you're having a bit of a breakdown, then someone says something really out of nowhere, and you just kind of get shocked out of it a little bit. That's almost what happens to it. She's like,
hang on. Since when are you talking?
You're talking again?
You waited 40 days to cry.
And then that, brings it all back and, and it's the way she, hides herself and, she can't even look at him.
She goes off away from the rest of the group because she can't let them see her in that state because she has to be strong. I'm doing air quotes here. She has to be strong for them, and she's seeing her cry would be a weakness, all air quoted and stuff.
And it's she can't even, when she starts crying again, she turns away and she can't look at him, and even when she collapses backwards, she still doesn't look at him. And it's clearly that is this kind of vulnerability is just not something that she's able to, not something she's really capable of.
Yeah. Really really wonderful. And the actual crying acting is really good.
It's really good.
She's not worried about aesthetic crying or anything. It's an ugly cry, and that's
also
great.
it's like it's not. You don't see a lot of like tears necessarily. It's like often when people cry on TV, it's like I know they use like fake tears quite a lot. And it's like, so you see these tears kind of rolling down someone's face. But it's like, it's more, it's in the face and it's in the emotions and the physicality of it that you know she's crying, even if you're not necessarily seeing, you know. Also,
I desperately want an Echo hug.
Oh my God, I think it would fix me.
Oh, honestly, it would fix me.
Because he
looks like he gives great hugs.
That just looks so comfy.
So comfy. And he just has the perfect amount of comforting, like he doesn't say much. But, you know, he kind of pushes her hair out of her face and stuff. I just need that. Need that in my life.
I really, truly do. And it's just the way he seems to know exactly what to do for her in that situation is really amazing.
Yeah.
In a way that I don't think any of the other survivors would.
I feel like they have, even though they've been butting heads a lot and they've barely spoken to each other, I feel like they have a really deep connection and friendship.
Yeah. They seem to have this sort of like, we're not so different, you and I. Yeah. You know, that kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Which is really brilliant.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So then we kind of we
come to this sort of montage. It's almost a previously on.
In a way, yeah.
We didn't get a previously on at the beginning. This is almost the previously on. Because it's like, now we've got to the bit you remember.
Yeah. But we see, like, the other perspective a little bit, which is really nice. So we have day 45. Cindy and Libby are making this fishing net when they see Jin wash up on the beach.
Fishing. Symbolic.
I know, I was like that. I was like, if only they'd caught him in the net, that would have been so cool.
Be hilarious. Can you imagine?
The fisherman has become the fish. Duh, duh, duh.
Can you imagine some fish swimming down the sea being like, well.
I mean, we talked about Chicken Run on the island. There's Finding Nemo happening in the ocean.
That's what that shark is. Fish are friends, not food. Compete movie with the fish.
It all comes back around.
Somewhere.
They see him and they're like, oh my God, is he alive? And they're kind of a bit more in the instinct of, we need to help him. And then it kind of, like, that's their initial. And then they're
like, is he alive? And then it's like, oh God.
What if he's one of them? And I really, really like, first of all, really cool that they put the blindfold on him and they kind of like touch his face and he's like, love that.
Poor Jin has no idea what's going on.
Bless him.
Imagine like you pass out in the ocean after your boat blows up. You don't really know what's going on, other than that the little boy has been taken, and then you wake up tied to a tree and blindfolded. Oh my God.
Going through it. He's truly going through it, yeah. And then, so Echo tries to speak to him, he obviously speaks back in Korean. Then we get Bernard saying he doesn't even speak English, he can't be one of them. And then Annalisa says that doesn't mean anything, or someone says that it doesn't mean anything. But she crucially says he has a broken handcuff on his wrist. I love that the handcuff has come back into it, and that's what makes him suspicious. How brilliant!
Because how did that get there?
Yeah.
But it's almost like it almost outlies him as he can't be another in a way, because it's like his clothes are more put together and he has a handcuff, and it's like they don't seem to have any technology, but it's also like, why does he have the handcuff? If he'd just been in like a shipwreck, that wouldn't happen. Where did it come from? Yeah. Also, like, it's that he really, like, he could be pretending not to speak English because Sun did that for like 2 weeks or whatever.
Just so good. I love the handcuff bracelet. The handcuff bracelet is my favourite character on this show. She's so cool.
It's great.
And I love that that's like a physical detail on Jin. And you find this man and it's like, what could it mean? You know? From their perspective, it's really interesting. And then Jin fucking slays the house down by breaking the tree he's tied to.
Chunk.
So fucking cool. Because when we see him running out with that tied to that stick, we're like, what's going on? But he was tied to a tree and he broke it.
He broke off.
Cool as fuck. Love him, love him.
Yeah. And getting that, like, the kind of Echo knocking them all out with his stick, but it's like, but now we know who he is.
Yeah.
Is insane.
Yeah, because also he doesn't want to kill them, does he?
Yeah.
See, because then that would mean another 40 days of silence. Why did he just got off the last one?
I love that it's like these kind of pulses of scenes, like these fading to black, and there's like a sort of noise in the background. And it's like these little bits just to remind you just enough. The scene, Anna Lucia goes to Echo, punch me. What?
You think they're real? Hit me.
And I love this, because he kind of goes, and then smack.
Fully wails on her. I'm like, oh my god, he didn't hold back, did he?
It's like, he's like, okay. Right, I'm doing this.
But again, Anna Lucia's putting herself in danger for the good of the group, isn't she? She's
in her own pit.
In her own pit.
Like, being in there, knowing that she put the wrong man in there, and that it got him killed.
Oh my god. Yeah, she's like, we got to have a different tactic this time, right? We can't just interrogate them.
We can't just assume.
Work. Yeah. Oh, so good. So good.
So good. And then
yeah, day 46 is pulling them out of the pit. Day 47 is them sort of trekking and Sawyer collapsing and everything. And then we go in day 48 today.
First of all, I love that it's today, not like present or something. It's like today. It's like, this is happening right now.
Right now, people.
So this is really interesting to me, because it's like, now we know what's happened and this horror movie they've been experiencing. This is the first time they've heard the whispers.
Yeah, that's so true.
Because they haven't mentioned it before.
The others leave no trace.
Yeah.
Right? This is what they've come to know from them. So it's really interesting to kind of hear a trace.
Yeah.
As it were.
So to me, it feels like we had this idea briefly earlier in the episode of like, you have the others on the one side of the island, and then you have like the smoke monster and the like dark territory. Maybe actually the whispers are part of this dark territory.
Yeah, like that idea. Really like that.
Is to do with like, or maybe to do with these apparitions. There's been no hallucinations in the tale section. Maybe like seeing Christian and seeing Walt are all part of this kind of dark territory ghost monster situation.
Really like that.
That is happening on this side of the island.
Very little supernatural going on with the tale section. Like, the horror movie that they're experiencing is something very real.
It's very real. The only kind of supernatural indication is like, how do they know who we are? How do they know how to find us?
Yeah.
But it's like, it can be explained away. Like, there are very explicitly supernatural things happening in the front section.
To the front section, yeah. Really, really interesting.
And that's really interesting in that Rousseau is the one who's given us this concept of the others, because that's what she says, there are others.
Yeah.
But what she's referring to is the whispering.
Really interesting.
So if they're different...
Yeah. Then she's just, by coincidence, figured out that there are, she's...
That there's all these other people.
But the thing is, the name The Others comes from Rousseau. So maybe we've wrongly appropriated that name onto those people. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe others actually means the whispers.
Yeah. But then how did a whisper take a baby?
Well, this is the thing. Who took her baby?
Who took the baby? Whisper take the baby.
Whisper take the baby.
But yeah, I really like that we kind of get Anna Lucia's POV in this bit when we get 48 today. Because if you're like, yeah, this is the first time she's heard the whispers, think about what Anna Lucia's gone through. We've just seen exactly what she's gone through, but specifically right now, she's dealing with Sawyer and all these new people and everything who don't know, who clearly haven't had the same experience that they've had, and it's kind of like, there are other survivors of the plane, but they've not been, like, why have they been doing stuff that's not what we've been doing, and all of that confusion.
Interestingly, we didn't see, so there was Michael and Jin got pulled out of the pit, and then they come back for Sawyer, and Michael says, we had a chat, they believe we were on the plane. We didn't see that conversation. We don't see
the chat, that's
so we don't know how much information they've swapped.
Yeah.
Obviously, they didn't tell section didn't tell much, because we don't find out. They wouldn't bother doing the whole, like, they came on the first night, because if they told them that already.
Yeah.
But we don't know how much Michael has told them. Obviously, he's told them they took my son, but we don't know how much he's said about what they were doing.
Really interesting. And also for them to be like, about 40 of us survived or something, he probably said that.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa.
It's all these people.
Just out there. But yeah, you know, the tail section never came across Rousseau or anything like that. And really, really interesting. So think about this. Goodwin was a spy in the camp. He lit the fire on the first night. Now, we don't know how or why or even if he communicated to the rest of his people who to take on the first night. Right?
We can assume that his logic when he speaks to Anna Lucia of they took the ones who were strong and athletic is at least partially true. But we don't know.
But we don't know.
Could be lying.
Who knows? But what we do know is that Goodwin observed everybody, and whether he ascertained who was good or not, or whether he just reported back and then
got given a list,
the leader of the others ascertained who was good, or like anything, like, no, we don't know, and also we don't know if the good thing is actually the real reason why they take people and stuff. Look, we don't know, but what we do know is he wrote the list, or he at least told everyone what these people looked like and what their names were, and then that woman came with the list in her pocket, and so those people knew who to grab based on what they were wearing, and so, etc., etc. After that night, the others did not attack the tail section again, right? And we kind of assume Goodwin's gone, we've taken everyone we need to take. These people, they're chopped liver. We don't care about them, we don't want them. Apart from Echo, obviously they wanted Echo originally, but they're like,
but they were like, never mind.
But then they take Cindy.
Yes.
They take Cindy out of fucking nowhere, also on the other side of the island.
In this dark territory where we've assumed they are not.
With no noise, no nothing, and no list, and no spy, and no one telling them to take her. Question mark, maybe. You know? So what the fuck is that all about?
It's really interesting, and it's like, this then like solidifies this idea that like regardless of having a spy, they're being watched. That like all this time, maybe all this time. Like the others we know, maybe they were keeping track of like Michael and Jin and Sawyer.
True.
After they blew up the boat, maybe it was like, we need to know if they survive.
Yeah.
And then they've collided with the tail section and they've gone, okay, well, let's keep an eye on all of them again. Then they've gone, you know what, this Cindy chick.
Actually.
Maybe we need her.
She's low-key cool. Let's get her.
Maybe we want Australians.
So yeah, I mean, it just raises so many questions as to who the others are, how they operate, what their motivations are. It's like we think we get answers, but we don't. Oh, and it's so exhausting. Nevertheless, this episode is obviously excellent.
Episode's incredible.
And I really like the way that the others are painted in this episode because they're so scary.
So scary.
And I know you mentioned supernatural element, but I actually think there's very little supernatural about them, and I really like that kind of idea.
They do seem like a bit more of a human threat, but they seem to have this superhuman element about them.
I'd agree with that. I think it's really important, actually, that it's the gun that she takes off Sawyer that ends up killing Shannon. You know, like that's the gun that Jack gave to Sawyer to protect the people on the raft, you know, from the others, and then ends up being taken by these people they suspect are the others, but then actually they're people who are terrified of the others, and then ends up being used against a person who she suspects are the others, but isn't.
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, what she's doing is using the gun to protect them from the others. That's what she's trying to do, at least.
Yeah. And don't forget Sawyer's bullets all falling in the sea.
I mean, that's just really funny. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, I was going to say, I think, like...
Hang on a minute, the others do have guns, because they shot Sawyer.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. These others clearly are different to the others that have been attacking the tail section, because they have a boat and a gun and a homemade bomb.
Yeah, and all these ones had was a 20-year-old army knife.
Yeah. So what the hell's going on? Hello?
There's different things happening.
I'm so confused.
There's a lot of because the thing is like, none of the others don't stick around for more than about 4 sentences before they either get killed or kill someone. So it's like, you don't really get to know anything about them. Also, obviously, they're withholding information.
Obviously, but, like, you can withhold information and then make that information not contradictory to the other information that you give.
Or you could withhold it from, like, the characters, but, like, not withhold it from the audience.
Tell me, though. Brackets, not me, though.
Not me, though, I know. I know. The other thing I was going to say is I think it's funny that, like, when you first presented with the tail section, you're like, oh, like, you know, their clothes are all destroyed, they're looking really rough or whatever. But, like, when it's happening gradually, I didn't really notice it. It's like I wasn't going like, oh, and this is when that happens. This is when they get that injury, or this is when Echo's shirt gets all bedraggled. You don't, because it's just happening so gradually that you don't clock it. And then it's like suddenly I was like, oh, and this is how they got... It's like, oh, we've made it to this point.
It's done really well and really subtly, I agree. I think it would have been kind of nice if we'd had like a few visible injuries or something that then we saw how they got them. That would have been quite cute.
That would have been fun if there was like a scar or something. Yeah. I remember that Ana Lucia has a big cut across her forehead when she surfaces at the ocean, because she said something fell out, something hit her in the head and knocked her out, and she woke up in the water. That's what she says to them in the pit.
Interesting, yeah, because we kind of think she's lying at that point.
Yeah, and she says something knocked her out and she woke up in the water, but when we see her surface, she's got a big cut across her head. And I was like, oh, something like what happened to the Marshal obviously happened to her, but that, like, none of them are particularly, like, covered in blood or anything, because they've all been in the ocean. So they've all been, like, washed in a weird sense, you know?
Yeah, totally. But yeah, so the very end of this episode, we get kind of like the other's perspective of the Shannon killing.
Yeah.
Which I think is really nice. We get like this kind of shaky POV camera, and if we're talking about this is the first time that they've heard the whispers, of course they're shitting themselves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck's happening now?
They're whispering?
Hello? What's
because it's
going
also
on?
like they've only ever come when they've been asleep before, so it's like, were they whispering before?
Yeah, the whole
and we
time.
didn't hear it?
Yeah, what could it mean? What are they trying to communicate? What are they trying to say? Who were they trying to talk to, you know?
And that, like, Michael yelling, what was that? Did we see that before?
No, I don't think so, no.
Because I didn't think so, but I wasn't sure if I'd just forgotten. So that's interesting that he's been put into the, like, tail section perspective on that happening.
And as well, we don't get, because we talked about last week, like, oh, Ana Lucia seems to realise that she hasn't shot another, that she's shot another survivor of the flight. Just, we kind of see it in her face. She goes like, oh, I think I know what I've done here. And when we got her perspective, I was like, oh, are we going to get Michael going, no, that's Shannon or something?
Yeah.
But we actually don't.
No.
So it is all her intuition, which is interesting.
Yeah. There's no, like, obviously there's recognition in, like, the faces of those guys, but, like, there's no, like, Saeed.
Yeah.
Because also for Saeed, this is, like, obviously Shannon's dead, but also he looks up and he sees Jin and Michael and Sawyer, who are supposed to be on the boat, and he doesn't know Walt's been kidnapped. He doesn't know who these other people are.
No.
That's insane. I mean, for him.
He found out about 5 minutes ago that the bottle has washed up on shore.
Yeah, and so he's maybe not completely shocked
and
to
he
see
saw
them.
Walt, but again, we don't know if it was really Walt. Probably not.
Probably not really Walt.
But then he sees Michael, and he's like, oh, shit, maybe it was really Walt.
Yeah, like, for me, if I was Saeed, I'd be like, oh, where is he? Did he just run away? Like...
Yeah.
Where'd he go?
But then also to, like, have these people who he doesn't know and who have just shot his girlfriend, maybe he's like, are they in cahoots?
Yeah.
With the others?
Have they been, like I said before, maybe they, like, kidnapping them and, like, corrupting their brains or something. Maybe that's what's happened to them.
Yeah. And now they're coming for him. I love the expression on Saeed's face as he rises up from holding Shannon.
Side note,
oh, he's gonna kill her.
Side note, is Vincent just out there somewhere?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Because she was with Vincent.
Maybe the whispers of Vincent.
He's like, whispering in Spanish, that's why we couldn't figure out.
He's whispering in Spanish, so we can't tell what he's saying.
Because she was with him in the jungle, but I don't know when.
Yeah.
Then it starts raining, and then it's just the two of them.
Look, Vincent always finds his way back.
I mean, Vincent's going to be fine, but, like, is he just hanging out?
He'll be fine. He's probably just hanging out in the mud somewhere, rolling around. Imagine him just rolling around in the mud while this shit's going on.
He's just having a good time.
Classic Vincent, to be fair.
When he's by the suitcase, just smiling.
But yeah, I love the last shot of this episode as well. Because obviously, again, there's no flashbacks in this episode, so it's not a centric one to any one character. But we do kind of get the idea that Ana Lucia is the protagonist, right? And I think it's really, really lovely that we get this long, lingering shot of her at the end. It's a close-up, and she's all dripping wet.
Yeah.
She looks really cool, and I'm like, oh, wow. But it's also really like, what happens next,
yeah,
you know?
And I really like that that's where the episode ends. There's no like with the scene like at the beginning of the series with the like Desmond and Jack and the like and it's then like what we then got was like a continuation of that scene in the next episode, but it's like we've caught up to where we are,
yes,
and then it ends,
yes,
and it's not like what happens now, you're gonna find out. It's like you've caught up and that's it.
Yeah. Really cool to just be like, okay, here's how she got here. Do you know what I mean? Here's what happened to all of them. I just fucking love this episode because I just really, really love how intense they go with what happened to the tail section.
Incredibly so, yeah, absolutely. Like, I think it's so amazing.
Because we all thought what happened to the main section was bad.
Yeah.
Fucking picnic compared to what these guys have been through. Honestly, I feel like I can't even give an accurate end of episode summary because I'm just, all my thoughts are, but it's good though, isn't it?
It's so good.
Just so good.
So good though.
And also worth noting this 48 days, 48. So many numbers cameos in this episode as well, which obviously I love.
But in a really subtle way, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, they're only there if you're looking for them. Like, with stuff like when we were being like, there's 16 people left.
And 8 graves, yeah.
And all of that. It's like, it's not... It feels like, you say, like, they're not really leaning into the supernatural thing in this episode. They're not going, it's fate, it's the numbers, it's about destiny, this was always meant to happen. They're going, like, there's an evil man in the woods who's got a rock.
Yeah, really interesting. I mean, can you imagine if you told these guys about the numbers?
Jesus.
They'd just be like, what are you talking about? But you kind of get the idea that the numbers are affecting what's happening, or in some way they're like low level.
They're still in some way connected to,
there.
because they're so inherently connected to the island, that they are always connected to what is happening.
If you take the idea that the island has sentience, which I know you like to say.
I like to say
and
it.
It's like guiding what's going on. Maybe the numbers are manifesting in that way throughout their journey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really exciting. And it all could also just be, hey, wouldn't this be fun for the viewer?
Yeah.
And it is fun for the viewer. So I'm happy with that.
Two things can be true, you know?
Yeah, I'm happy with that if that's all it is, honestly. And don't forget that Ana Lucia's seat on the flight was 42. Don't forget that, people.
42F. They're finally going to see each other again. How crazy is that going to be? For their second drink.
Actually don't talk to me.
Do you think when Cindy gave Jack the extra vodka, he put it in his pocket for when he'd find Ana Lucia to have their second drink on the plane?
Oh, I like that idea, but I unfortunately think Jack is in his alcoholic era. And he's just drinking the...
I don't think so. I think he was like, and then I'll go to Ana Lucia and then I'll be like, let's share this tiny bottle of straight vodka together, which is semi. But I think it's nice. And also that it's like he got it from Cindy and then Cindy was in the tail section.
Oh,
it's
I
all
wish
connected.
Cindy had stayed with them, because imagine
If
Cindy and
had
Jack
seen
seeing each other again. Like, that would be so good. And seeing Charlie and seeing everyone. She must remember all of them.
She's good with the faces.
Well,
of the survivors, of the passengers. Let's see how many of them she remembers.
And how many of them would remember her as well? Because, like, how much attention do you pay to the flight attendants? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I mean, if I was in like I don't remember what my train conductors look like, you know?
No. Unless they do something really nice for you. I remember I was on the train with my friends and it was like, we were getting on one... It wasn't like, our tickets were valid, but it was like, we bought it for a northern train and it was a Transpennine one, or we bought it for a Transpennine and it was a northern or something. And we were like panicking a bit and we said to the conductor like, hi, will we be all right? And he went, yeah, get on. He was like, I'm checking the tickets, it's fine, get on. And then we did. And then he came over and he was like, oh yeah, I remember you guys, yeah, you're all fine, and walked off. And we saw that his name badge said Dominic, so we just had an ongoing joke about Dominic. Just being like, Dominic, we love you so much. So, you know,
Maybe you would remember then. I mean, Jack definitely would. Because
I
that's
feel
sort
like
of
Jack would.
that's sort of an equivalent, isn't it? The flight attendant does something extra special and nice for you.
Yeah. But I feel like she'd remember Charlie from, you know, having to chase him and stuff. She probably, you know, when you're in that situation, you kind of take a bit more notice of someone in case you have to describe them to the police or something like that.
In case you have to
know?
describe them later.
So I feel like she'd remember that. And, you know, she might remember someone like John because they had to help him. She might remember someone like Claire because she might have needed extra help.
The Marshall and Kate, definitely.
Yeah.
Because they would all be briefed, like, there's going to be a criminal on this flight, but there's a police marshal, like, you need to know who he is, and she's going to be handcuffed to the seat. Like, they would all be briefed on that, wouldn't they? So she'd know about Kate. Can you imagine if she'd been presented with Kate and just been like, oh my god, you're the criminal?
Yeah. Would Kate have had to silence her? Like, don't talk.
That's actually Cindy didn't get kidnapped. That was Kate.
Kate
Don't tell
rugby
anyone.
tackled her.
Took her out.
Love that implication.
First of all, don't tell anyone I'm a criminal, but also don't steal my man.
Don't steal my man.
Don't give Jack vodka. That's what really happened.
Yeah. I love that in the past 2 episodes, we've invented 2 different narratives for what happened to Cindy.
Yeah.
That make more sense than her just being taken by the others, just saying. Scenario 3, she's tackled by Vincent.
Maybe she just saw a dog and was like, oh my god, a dog.
I got a dog, and then just went over to go stroke him. And they're like, Cindy! And she's just like, oh, isn't it cute?
That's so real though. I do that quite often. If I see like a cat I will like fully walk away from a conversation to go like chase a cat on the street. I'll be like, hold on. Oh, this episode's so good.
So good. So good. I love it. I've been looking forward to talking about this one actually.
For a really long time.
Because it's just one of my favourites ever, and it's really one of those ones. And we were talking when we were doing our season 1 ranking about like episodes that we would go back to. This is a really good one to go back to and just watch on the off chance because it's kind of isolated, right?
It's sort of its own thing. I feel like I could show this to someone who knows nothing about Lost. They would get a very skewed perspective of the show, but like it's the kind of thing that's a closed narrative you can enjoy on its own.
Absolutely. Really, really good. Really, really good. Just so excellent on so many levels.
It's so great.
And then talking about the numbers, right? This is episode...
Talking about the numbers.
This is episode 7, isn't it, of series 2?
Mm-hmm.
Which really shocks me because I feel like it should be episode 8.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's so extreme and so dramatic and so different. I feel like it would be one of the numbers, but no. But then we talked about this before. They don't really do that with the
episode numbers, not really.
Because 4 is one of them. Like 4 of series 1, yeah. Is a really shocking one. 23 of series 1, yes, is Exodus part 1. But 8, 15, and 16
kind of nothing. I think they do it less so also because I think some sources count like the 2-parters as 1 episode and some sources count them as 2. Yeah. So I think actually if it's like, say, one, you know, this company confused. Is counting the pilot as 1 episode, then it's like actually Walkabouts episode 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it all gets a bit convoluted, and I think they probably didn't want to put too much weight on it because it's like if it's being counted differently everywhere, then there's no point.
Yeah, which is fair, to be honest. But a little disappointing when the numbers are so important to the show.
Yeah.
You kind of, as a viewer,
you
trying
expect
to look for them everywhere, and then for them to not really do it in terms of the show now. And because like episode 4 of this season as well was Everybody Hates Hugo, right?
Yeah, which was obviously a Hurley episode is a numbers heavy episode.
Of course, and we like that, and the numbers featured a lot, and it was a good episode. But like 1, 2, and 3 were bam, 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 you know?
Yeah, definitely. So it's definitely different. But yeah, I mean, well, episode 8 is next week.
Yes.
It's a good one. It is. Well, I'll give you a chance to try and remember it. I've got it in front of me. Collision, yes.
I'm so good. Again, I feel like the title, not particularly relevant.
No,
I don't go, oh, Collision, that's that one. But I think I remember what happens next.
I know. Yeah, I know what episode it is based on remembering the plot. But if you told me like what episode is Collision, I would have had no idea.
Yeah. And I only remember that Collision's next because of
the
game.
quiz. So I think maybe we'll find more relevance in it than we previously thought next week. Like with Abandoned, maybe we'll be able to figure out what the kind of the metaphorical significance or whatever of Collision.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the two groups are colliding.
I mean, very much. There's been a collision with like the shooting of Shannon, right? That's a pretty fatal collision.
It's a pretty like dramatic combination of the two groups.
So I feel like that's fair enough to call it collision. It's just that, the collision itself has kind of happened already last week and this week, and then unless we get situation
where we see it again, which is highly likely. But we will find out when we talk to you next week.
We certainly will. So you can give us a follow on all of the things. All of the links are in the description to all of our social medias. You can follow Lost All Caps on all of the main ones. You can also follow me at Ariel Hebditch on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening.
I hope you've enjoyed, because we love this episode. And so we've been really excited to talk about it. So I hope you've enjoyed it too, and that you came away with the same feeling as us of just like, oh, this is an excellent one.
Absolutely. And we cannot wait to keep talking to you about the crazy things happening this season next week.
Bye.